Chapter 161. Chapter 161, Willingly Exploited. Fang Yuan put down his cup, sitting down. Only then did everyone dare to sit down. Among them, not all the classmates were present. For example, Mo Bei, Kai Cheng, and the others with strong backgrounds, were not among the ones present. It's about time, I have to go. This was a well-organized meetup. Fang Yuan showed his inclination to leave. Ji Yu Ding Zong, upon hearing the praise, was overjoyed and quickly stood up, taking out a money bag from his pocket. The bag was filled with primeval stones. He smiled and bowed. Upon hearing Lord's wisdom today, I felt a strong sense of enlightenment, reaping a great reward. This is a small gift, but I hope Lord can accept my token of gratitude. He talked a bunch of crap, and from the start of the banquet, he had been flattering Fang Yuan non-stop, so how could he have gotten any enlightenment? But everyone else acted as if this indeed really happened, shouting loudly and urging Fang Yuan to accept his gratitude. Fang Yuan did not reject, smiling lightly and naturally taking over this money bag. Next, was the second, and the third, simultaneously coming up to offer their gifts, all primeval stones. All right, Fang Yuan smiled as he accepted them all. Tens of bags filled with primeval stones, how could Fang Yuan carry them all? Ji Yu Ding Zong, on seeing this, quickly summoned a few family servants to carry his load for him. In this short amount of time, Fang Yuan gained almost 10,000 primeval stones. Lastly, Fang Yuan slowly stood up, raising his cup once again. Our encounter is by fate, this classmate relationship, both you and I remember it at heart. This is truly worth drinking over. Yes, well said, Lord Fang Yuan. Such perfect phrasing, taking the words right out of our hearts, this is talent no doubt. Everyone stood up, praising as they raised their cups. They either had no background, or their background was not strong enough. Fang Yuan advanced to clan elder, and they were afraid of his revenge, but at the same time they also wanted to enter Fang Yuan's social network. Fang Yuan smiled lightly, raising his hand and toasting with his wine cup. At this point, the dark clouds dissipated, showing the lustrous moonlight enveloping the garden outside. The cool air was mixed with the smell of blood, and reality was extremely cruel. But in this hall, it was exquisite with beautiful lights and decorations, overflowing with wine and fortune, and everyone smiled superficially as if they were in heaven on earth. This is the allure of the system. Fang Yuan's eyes glinted. As he stared at the wine in his cup, his mind thought about it. Back then, when he extorted his classmates, it was only several primeval stones, but he incurred public outcry. However, right now, he didn't even have to say a word. Yet these people were all willing, fighting to be the first to give him primeval stones, each bag having over 100 primeval stones. This differential treatment, on the surface it looked like the result of Fang Yuan's elder status. In reality, the truth was because he had previously been outside the system. Right now, however, he had entered the organization's higher management. Under the system, the members are all exploited willingly. Even without any hints from Fang Yuan, they would come forth and bribe him. Some would use their network to get into his faction, while women used their charms to get closer. It works this way in this world, and the same goes on Earth as well. This world's people are hilarious. Being robbed and extorted only for a meager loss, and they resist violently, screaming injustice. But bribing the higher-ups, sending gifts, bodies and virginities, they do it willingly. And they are even afraid that it's not enough. Being able to get so many primeval stones today, this is all borrowing the power of the system. Fang Yuan laughed coldly in his heart, thinking of Ji Yu Qingshu, Mo Yan and Kai Shan. Talented people like Ji Yu Qingshu having B-grade talent, they had much greater cultivating talent than Fang Yuan. But all of them cultivated slowly, staying at rank 2 realm for a long time. Did they not work hard enough? Hee, let's laugh a little. This is the deprivation and pressure from the system. Such deprivation and pressure, it is invisible. Ordinary people cannot even feel it. Taking Fang Yuan's situation for example, the primeval stones these people gifted, if used on themselves, would definitely be a driving force towards their own cultivation. Thus, bribery is a form of deprivation. Numerous lower rankers fight to bribe the higher-ups. This was a form of gathering resources and fortifying the authority of the higher-ups. Other than monetary fortune, there is also the deprivation of time. Elites like Ji Yu Qingshu did not need to bribe others, but their time was used up. Telling you to do this and that on a daily basis, running errands, doing missions, but acting rightfully so, this is for the higher-ups, attention and favor. If this time was used to cultivate, Ji Yu Qingshu would have broken through rank 2 peak stage and reached rank 3. Then using the wood charm GU, he might have even been able to kill Bai Ningbing. The amazing part was that, the clan elders did not want this junior GU Qingshu to advance to rank 3 so quickly. For such a useful pawn piece, if he really became rank 3 and was on the same status as them, how can they make use of him? Who is willing to have their authority shaved? Thus, they consciously dragged and suppressed him, even using the reason of, I think well of this lad, but he needs to train. Only by refining can he become a true jade. This is the truth of the system. If one cannot see beyond this, regardless of how heroic they are or how talented one is, they are merely tigers and dragons chained up, only being slaves. People like Jiu Qingshu and Kai Zhang, no matter how intelligent or talented they are, so what? Although he had so many thoughts, his thoughts flashed in an instant, and only a second passed in real life. Everyone, please drink up. Fang Yuan moved the cup to his lips, downing the drink in one mouthful. Everyone quickly toasted him, not daring to leave behind a single drop. Goodbye. Fang Yuan cupped his fists, taking his leave. The family servants held the primeval stones as they followed behind him. Everyone quickly sent him off. Please continue drinking, you don't have to send me off, Fang Yuan said, but everyone did not do so. Instead, they left their seats and continued their flattery. Fang Yuan continued, I like peace and quiet. Seeing his expression, everyone finally got his intentions and remained in the hall. Seeing Fang Yuan's figure leaving, some people sighed, while others remained silent, and someone exclaimed, Elder Fang Yuan truly is a legend, such elegance. They were all frogs in the well, only able to see the moon from below, thinking about Fang Yuan's unrestrained position but not being able to see beyond the system's restrictions. Actually, as long as one joins the system, they would be weakened, and their benefits would be sacrificed. Even the clan leader has to sacrifice. He needed to manage the clan, and with this he contributed much of time and effort. It is just that the members at the bottom of the chain are deprived more severely. The higher one's status is, the more benefits one will enjoy. Initially, when Fang Yuan extorted primeval stones, he worked against the system, acting alone and not even sparing his own brother. That was to avoid this deprivation. Thus, he had ample time and energy to advance to rank 3 and become a clan elder, causing numerous people to scream in wonder. But now that he had undergone a huge transformation, becoming a clan elder, his temperament became mild and respectful with authority and status, enjoying the benefits of a clan elder, causing many to be filled with envy. This separation and joining, entering and leaving, is filled with deep wisdom and knowledge. But how many people can see clearly across this fact? Fang Yuan was not exploited, but he still enjoyed the benefits. In the eyes of mortals, this is unrestrained and elegance. Alright, put the things on the table and you can go, Fang Yuan said. The family servants did not dare to have an opinion, quietly placing down the items and bowing to Fang Yuan before taking their leave. This is no longer the rented apartment Fang Yuan stayed in before. After advancing to elder, the clan allocated him a brand new bamboo building. There was a study room and a secret room for closed-door cultivation in the bamboo building, but there were no family servants. Fang Yuan needed to find them himself. Two-seed flower, come out. Fang Yuan willed in his heart, and with the injection of his white-silver primeval essence, the two-seed flower residing on his tongue as a tattoo came alive immediately. He opened his mouth and spit out, only to see red light appearing as the two-seed flower rotated gradually like a lantern in midair, floating and appearing in front of him. Fang Yuan activated the two-seed flower. Instantly, red light flashed and caused the entire area to be lit in a red hue. When the red light shone upon the pieces of primeval stones, there was a formless attraction and all the stones flew out of their bags and entered the two-seed flower. A moment later, the red light dissipated and Fang Yuan opened his mouth. The two-seed flower entered his mouth once more, landing on his tongue and turning into a red flower lantern tattoo. This two-seed flower is a rank 3 GU, able to store primeval stones and other things. Among the rank 3 storage GU, this is one of the better ones, being able to store a max of 30,000 primeval stones. But considering that I have to store other things as well, the most would probably be around 15,000 primeval stones. Although it was his first time using this GU worm, with his previous life's experience, he could quickly estimate the limit of the GU. Primeval stones are the most basic resource for a GU master's cultivation, undeniably. Without primeval stones, GU masters would lack a driving force severely. And primeval stones also help in quickly restoring primeval essence, so in battle it has a lot of help. Especially for GU masters who travel alone, primeval stones are the most basic assurance for traveling. Normally, they would need at least 10,000 primeval stones to ensure that a GU master has the basic needs covered for a period of time. And every once in a while, they require replenishment. A saving of 15,000 primeval stones, to Fang Yuan, was still too little, but also at an acceptable range. First I borrowed 3,000 primeval stones from Kai Lian, and with today's earnings, I do not have to fret over primeval stones for a while. In the 6 classifications, I have the Blood Moon GU and Sky Canopy GU for attack and defense, Thunderwings for movement, Two-Seed Flower for storage, and Earth Communication Eargrass for recon. I only lack a healing GU, Fang Yuan calculated. He previously had a 9-leaf Vitality Grass, but Fang Yuan handed it up already, thus being able to get the Two-Seed Flower. But for this rank 2 9-leaf Vitality Grass, even in Fang Yuan's possession, the healing ability was not satisfactory. Rank 3 Healing GU Worms, there are a few desirable ones. Endless Vitality GU can sustain healing and expends little primeval essence. On this note, it is the best for GU masters like me with low aptitude. There's also the Undying Grass, a GU that can save me as long as I have a single breath left. This is the best life preservation type of GU. The most optimum is the Self-Reliance GU, relying on the GU master's own strength. The larger the GU master's strength, the more it can stimulate the metabolism of the GU master and thus recover injuries faster. But for these 3 GU worms, how can Fang Yuan obtain them? In the GUU clan, he even checked the underground cavern, but found no such GU. On the resource board, they would also not display such a precious GU. The only hope lies in the Flower Wine Monk's inheritance. But the chances were slim. Fang Yuan barely held any hope. He could feel that the Flower Wine Monk's inheritance was coming to an end. How could there be the exact GU that Fang Yuan needs right at the end? If that was the case, it would be too perfect, too idealistic. But Fang Yuan knew how cruel this world was. Placing your faith in such a thing, that's naivety. But even so, I have to finish exploring this inheritance ground. At least for that chainsaw golden centipede, I have to subdue it, Fang Yuan thought in his heart. Chapter 162. Chapter 162, Heavenly Essence Treasure Lotus. Although he had planned to investigate the Flower Wine inheritance ground, Fang Yuan couldn't find the time to do so. With his elder status, many were watching him, and with the busy schedule of the Wolf Tide, many battles had to be fought and he did not have an opportunity to leave. By the time he returned to the Rock Crack's secret cave, it was over 10 days later. The end of summer, night time. The rain just stopped, bringing the atmosphere of autumn itself. In the sky, a golden moon was hanging, round like a plate, high up in the sky. Hearing vague wolf cries mixed with the remaining crickets, Fang Yuan stood on a slope, turning back and observing. Guu village was bright with numerous lamps lighted. The torn walls had been fixed over and over, losing the peace and tranquility it once had. It was almost like a huge beast that had undergone numerous battles, lying on the ground gasping for breath. After my rebirth, even the Wolf Tide's progress has changed much. In my memory, the Thunder Crown Wolf arrived 3 days ago, but now it is nowhere to be seen. Fang Yuan took a look, before moving his sight. Tonight he had managed to squeeze out some time, and had to make good use of it. A moment later, he entered the Rock Crack's secret cave again. The cave entrance was purposely covered with grey ash. There had never been any footsteps on it, showing that this place was yet undiscovered. This small kind of detection method could not be called professional, but Fang Yuan's experience placed them to good use. Of course, he did not only have one method of precaution, and after several layers of checking, he finally confirmed that this secret cave was still safe for the time being. He breathed a sigh of relief. After all, since his rebirth, many things had been altered. Especially during the Wolf Tide, GU masters moved around more frequently, so someone might have discovered this place. He entered the tunnel and went into the second secret room. Pushing open the rock door, he entered the rock forest. In the rock forest, the path that he once excavated was filled with jade eye stone monkeys again. But the Fang Yuan now is already a rank 3 GU master. Although the Blood Moon GU did not have the highest attacking power among the rank 3 GU worms, it was definitely far superior than the Moonglow GU. Fang Yuan spent 6 hours, exterminating almost 10 groups of monkeys, reopening a path for himself. He came to the most central area and stepped down the rough rock stairs, entering the third secret room. A rock door blocked his path, and on the rock door there was a carving, Golden Centipede's cave is precarious, Earth communication is the way to avoid the disaster. Last time, he had been stuck at this step. But this time, he opened the rock door with no hesitation, striding into the darkness. He held a torch that illuminated the surrounding 10 steps. This centipede cave was wide, having a height of 3 meters, and breadth of 2 meters. There were also many narrow paths that extended all over the place. Wherever Fang Yuan walked, the fire would proceed to light up the place and dispel the darkness. Initially the cave only had the sound of his footsteps, but soon all sorts of noises came from all over the place. The sound gathered into one collective body, continuously sounding. At the edge of the lighted area, he soon saw a large number of centipedes. They were ferocious. It was only due to the bright fire that they did not attack Fang Yuan. But Fang Yuan knew that as time passed, the centipedes would increase in number, and with the back pushing the ones in front, this stalemate would soon be broken. But he did not mind it. If he was still rank 2 with only the white jade goose defense, he would definitely not cause such a commotion, attracting the movement of the centipede group. But now that he was rank 3, the sky canopy goose defense was enough for him to withstand the bites of the insects, and his only concern was the insect king of the place, Chainsaw Golden Centipede. It had appeared. Fang Yuan purposely used a trace of his white-silver primeval essence from his aperture, releasing it into the air, exposing his rank 3 GU master aura. This aura caused the Chainsaw Golden Centipede to feel a strong threat. To it, Fang Yuan had stepped into his territory, and this wild beast needed to be eliminated immediately. Fang Yuan stood on guard against it. This Chainsaw Golden Centipede was around a meter long, its body as wide as 2 fists. It first landed at the fringe of the lighted area, coiling its body around it, like python ambushing its prey. But in the next moment, it moved slowly with numerous legs sustaining its weight as it gradually got closer towards Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan's rank 3 aura only made it alert, and not afraid. If he was rank 4, it would not pressure Fang Yuan like this. If he was rank 5 and only revealed a bit of that aura, it would run for its life. Fang Yuan raised the torch high. As the fire burned, it illuminated the surroundings and the shadows' movements. Under the glow of the fire, the Chainsaw Golden Centipede's exoskeleton emitted an eerie light. At the side of its body, there were silver-colored sawteeth. As it got closer, the sawteeth moved as well, looking like a slowed chainsaw, emitting a buzzing sound. The other centipedes gathered towards Fang Yuan from the walls and the ground. Some centipedes climbed to the ceiling, then dropped down, landing on Fang Yuan's shoulder and back. Fang Yuan did not mind it. He activated the sky canopy GU, and a thick white crystal light appeared on his body, the form of an armor subtly showing as it covered him fully. The centipedes' poisonous limbs could not do anything against this white crystal armor. The twisting and turning centipedes climbed on his face or behind his ears. It was a little disgusting, but Fang Yuan's endurance level was way beyond this, thus ignoring them completely. In his previous life, he had eaten almost anything in the wilderness, and even non-poisonous centipedes were eaten raw. In fact, the taste was not that bad, almost a bit strange initially, but he got used to it after eating them for a while. He only placed his attention on the Chainsaw Golden Centipede. The Chainsaw Golden Centipede moved gradually, reducing the distance between Fang Yuan and itself. When there was a distance of 3 to 4 steps between them, Fang Yuan stopped the white-silver primeval essence from leaking, and this caused his aura to instantly weaken. The Chainsaw Golden Centipede acutely felt that, thus instantly increasing its speed, moving like a golden line. Phew! In the blink of an eye, it had shortened the distance, and coiled around Fang Yuan's stomach. This speed was really fast. It first appeared motionless, then on the very moment it moved, it dashed through like a golden light. When Fang Yuan managed to react, this Chainsaw Golden Centipede had already coiled around his waist like a snake, opening its mouth and attacking towards Fang Yuan's face. Fang Yuan quickly stretched out both arms, grabbing the head of this golden centipede. The Chainsaw Golden Centipede struggled, and Fang Yuan, who had the strength of 2 boars, felt that his strength was insufficient. Especially when the Chainsaw Golden Centipede's 2 bladed edges started to move rapidly. Clank clank clank. A strong pulling and slashing force grinded at the white light of the sky canopy GU. At once, Fang Yuan's white-silver primeval essence was rapidly used up as the white light grinded with the chainsaws, causing sparks to fly. Fang Yuan's primeval essence was only initial stage light-silver primeval essence, and with only 42% in storage, it could not support such an expenditure. However, Fang Yuan was unfazed. Even though he could not get free from the Chainsaw Golden Centipede, he had a trump card. Spring Autumn Cicada. He willed in his heart, and the Spring Autumn Cicada's shadow appeared from his aperture. The Spring Autumn Cicada was gradually recovering. Its 2 wings were tender and new like fresh leaves, and at the same time its body had a royal wooden luster. But overall, it still gave off a withered feeling of death. It had recovered around 20%, thus its aura was much stronger. Once this aura was leaked, the chainsaw golden centipede that was struggling intensely immediately surrendered. It was only a rank 3 wild GU worm. Against the aura of the rank 6 spring autumn cicada, it did not dare to move at all. Fang Yuan felt it most evidently. Previously he was still gripping the chainsaw golden centipede like a poisonous python, using all ways to prevent it from biting. The next moment, it had become a soft and harmless rope. Fang Yuan smiled lightly, using his white-silver primeval essence onto the chainsaw golden centipede that had basically given up. Fang Yuan's will worked without obstacles, completely eliminating the wild consciousness it had. In a few breaths' time, the chainsaw golden centipede was already refined by Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan let go of both hands. The chainsaw golden centipede's numerous segments moved with rhythm, moving across the white protective armor and around Fang Yuan's waist, finally twisting and coiling around his arm. The surrounding centipede groups went away like a receding tide. The wild chainsaw golden centipede, because of its natural consciousness, was able to dominate the insect group. But now that Fang Yuan's will replaced it, the chainsaw golden centipede lost its ability to communicate and control the group. Fang Yuan did not eliminate these centipedes, instead letting them leave. Maybe in another dozen-plus years, a new chainsaw golden centipede might be born. But this no longer had anything to do with Fang Yuan. He let the chainsaw golden centipede hang on his shoulder as he investigated deeper into the cave. This centipede tunnel had a lot of paths, and after moving for a while, the main path split into 3 branches. Fang Yuan first used the earth communication eargrass, and after a while, he eliminated the center path. Choosing the path on the right, he moved for half an hour and found a dead end. He could only backtrack and go through the left path. By keeping the chainsaw golden centipede, he could deter the centipede groups and cause them to move away from wherever he goes with the golden centipede's aura. This greatly aided his search. Not long after he entered the left path, the centipede group that moved away revealed a cave, and he found some clues there. These are signs of human construction. Fang Yuan's heart was moved. Very evidently, this path was dug out by the flower wine monk initially using the 1000-li earth wolf spider. Fang Yuan moved along this path at a slow pace, patiently investigating. There were a lot of centipedes in this path, and this was another piece of good news for Fang Yuan. This is because areas with insect groups living there allowed him to eliminate the possibility of placed traps. This tunnel was longer than he expected. Fang Yuan spent over 12 hours and walked over 3 li worth of distance. The slope gradually moved down as Fang Yuan approached a deep underground area. Every once in a while, he stopped and used the earth communication eargrass to eliminate any possible threats. Swoosh swish. What sound is this? Fang Yuan eventually heard a weird noise. Immediately, he noticed what it was. This is water, don't tell me. His thought moved quickly as he had an idea. At the end of the tunnel, he saw a crystal wall. And behind the crystal wall, was water. In the water, there was an ash-gray-colored river that flowed in a spiral, like a mini tornado, endlessly swirling in a self-sufficient system. As I thought, this is a natural essence spring. Seeing this, Fang Yuan's attention was piqued. Soon after, he saw that behind this watery crystal wall, there was something else in the spring. A flower bud with the colors of blue and white following one another, was leisurely floating in the spring water. This is actually the heavenly essence treasure lotus. Fang Yuan was shocked. Note: greater than this tunnel was longer than he expected. Fang Yuan spent over 12 hours and walked over 3 li worth of distance. Li is 500 meters, I don't know why he took 12 hours just to walk 1.5 kilometers lol. It's not even an exaggeration. Chapter 163. Chapter 163. Thunder Crown Wolf. As Fang Yuan looked at the heavenly essence treasure lotus, many doubts in his heart was cleared. He could roughly speculate what had happened. Going back in time, a millennium ago, a solitary rank 5 GU master came upon Qingmao Mountain and incidentally found this underground natural spirit spring. He was exalted and settled down here. He began merging the mortal villagers living around the foot of the mountain together, forming the prototype of GUU village. He took in over 100 wives and concubines, wantonly spreading his bloodline. He was the ancestor of GUU clan, the founder of GUU village. Time passed by, and he passed away ending the first generation, then it was the second, third until it reached the fourth generation. The fourth generation clan leader possessed an A-grade aptitude and cultivated to rank 5, creating another golden age for the clan. One day, a demonic path GU master came to the village. He was bald and muscular, dressed in pink clothes and moved alone, His favorite hobby was to defile innocent women. It was the famous devil of the demonic path, Flower Wine Monk. Who knew what fortuitous encounter this Flower Wine Monk had, to be able to know the recipe to refine heavenly essence treasure lotus. After many preparations, he only lacked a natural spirit spring to refine this flower Gu. After looking all around, he finally chose Guu village's spirit spring. At first, he used the pretense of buying Moon Orchid to slowly approach the Guu clan's higher-ups and get the details on Guu clan. Afterwards, in the battle with the 4th generation clan leader, he was able to achieve complete victory with his formidable strength. He had not only killed the 4th generation head, but also downed a large majority of the elders. However, his body was infected by the Moonshadow Gu. Moonshadow Gu's ability was to restrict primeval essence and wasn't enough to be fatal. However, Flower Wine Monk couldn't wantonly slaughter if he wanted to refine the heavenly essence treasure lotus, as that would attract a lot of attention and hinder the progress. Thus, he chose to do things from the dark. He used the 1,000-li earth wolf spider to dig out a tunnel, secretly advancing to this area. Due to the thorough preparations he had made before and with the sufficient materials, he was able to refine heavenly essence treasure lotus in the spirit spring. The heavenly essence treasure lotus has an extraordinary background. Its fusion recipe had been created many millenniums ago by a Gu master of the righteous faction, Immortal Venerable Genesis Lotus. Heavenly essence treasure lotus was only a rank 3 flower Gu, but it had its advancement route and could become the rank 6 heavenly essence treasure imperial lotus, which was ranked 6th among the list of top 10 great immortal Gu rankings. Its worth was about the same as the spring-autumn cicada. The heavenly essence treasure lotus had a reputation as a portable spirit spring, because it could produce primeval stones. However, its fusion process had an extremely high price. To refine the heavenly essence treasure lotus, there must be a natural spirit spring. This spring should be full of primeval energy, and cannot be a spirit spring that has been used for many years, with its reserves drying out. After the fusion succeeds, this spirit spring will be thoroughly useless and will lose its ability to produce primeval stones, becoming just an ordinary spring. A natural spirit spring is extremely valuable. One only needs to look at how this spirit spring has sustained countless Gu masters of the Guu clan for close to a millennium to realize this point. Refining a heavenly essence treasure lotus would completely destroy this spirit spring. But that was just the beginning. If it was to be advanced to rank 4, it would need 7 spirit springs, 9 at rank 5, and 11 for rank 6. Apart from this, many extremely precious Gu worms would be needed as auxiliary ingredients. If I take this heavenly essence treasure lotus, it would be like carrying a mini-scale spirit spring with me. The heavenly essence treasure lotus is only a rank 3 Gu, so its daily primeval stones production can't compare to a normal spirit spring, but the amount will be enough to sustain my cultivation expenditure. This was just one of its benefits. The primeval stones produced by heavenly essence treasure lotus were a lot more than the earnings from the 9 leaves vitality grass. Primeval stones can not only help in advancing cultivation, they are also an exchangeable form of currency. With the treasure lotus, Fang Yuan could decrease the amount of primeval stones he carried. The 2 seed of flour could then be used to store various stuffs which could greatly decrease the burden on him. However, I heard that the fusion process of the treasure lotus is quite mysterious. It appears from nothing during which it transits between the astral and physical form. Ordinary people can't see it, and it can only be seen clearly through the crystal. This Gu is quite delicate and needs to be nourished within the spirit spring for 9 days and 9 nights until it grows out 9 intact leaves, before it can be plucked and put into the primeval sea in the aperture. If one picks it up before the time is ripe, all their efforts would be completely wasted. Fang Yuan didn't know the detailed recipe of heavenly essence treasure lotus and only knew some insider rumors. He had no idea on how to advance it in the future. Even so, this rank 3 heavenly essence treasure lotus would be of an enormous assistance to him. He looked beyond the crystal wall and carefully observed. To his surprise, the flower only had 8 and a damaged half leaf. There was only half a leaf left for the 9 complete leaves. Fang Yuan wasn't baffled by this. Centuries had passed, the spirit spring's reserves had been consumed for 4 generations of time. This heavenly essence treasure lotus condensed the majority of the spirit spring's essence, constantly consuming the primeval stones produced by the spirit spring, and causing the spirit spring's reserves to further decrease. As a result, the treasure lotus slowly began to reverse the absorption, instead replenishing the damage to the spirit spring. By doing this, it was damaging itself. This was the reason for the damaged leaf. Heavenly essence treasure lotus must have 9 complete leaves before it can be plucked. It only has 8 leaves and a half now. I need to throw in primeval stones to the spring if I am to pluck it. Primeval stones were the crystallization of the spirit spring, they could provide the nourishment to the treasure lotus and let it grow again. However, don't underestimate this half-damaged leaf. It was sure to require large amounts of primeval stones for it to grow back. If I am not wrong, this crystal wall should be produced by a moat Gu. Fang Yuan tried to touch the wall, and found that this wall was real but also virtual, just like light and shadow. His hands went through the wall without any obstruction. But he quickly took back his hand and didn't dare to go deep into the spirit spring. Spirit springs should never be polluted. He poured his primeval essence into the two-seed flower and took out a primeval stone. He threw the primeval stone through the crystal wall. As if the wall didn't exist, the primeval stone went through it and dropped into the spirit spring, striking onto the phantom figure of the Heavenly Essence Treasure Lotus. Heavenly Essence Treasure Lotus transited between blue and white and started shaking like water ripples. It digested the primeval stone in almost an instant. After waiting for the flower to turn calm, Fang Yuan observed it attentively, but found no change in that damaged leaf. His expression was calm. He started throwing in dozens of primeval stones, but there was still no change to the damaged leaf. Fang Yuan continued to throw in primeval stones while silently counting the number. When over 500 primeval stones were thrown, the damaged leaf finally grew by a little. After the sight of this scene, Fang Yuan couldn't help but feel slightly gloomy. From this calculation, he had to throw in at least over 50,000 primeval stones in at one time. If he did it in batches and the time gap was long, Heavenly Essence Treasure Lotus would consume itself to replenish the spirit spring as the clan continuously extracted primeval stones. Over 50,000 primeval stones. I only have just over 10,000 with me and lack 40,000 more. With his status as an elder, raising these 40,000 primeval stones wasn't really a problem. The true problem, however, lay elsewhere. Once he took out this Heavenly Essence Treasure Lotus, the spirit spring would be completely useless, and this was bound to attract the whole clan's furious and frantic investigation. Fang Yuan had plentiful experience, but he had limited methods. If the clan investigated without any considerations, they were sure to find some clues. In fact, the clan's higher-ups were already suspicious of him, but their suspicions were temporarily suppressed by the wolf tide. If the flower wine monk's inheritance was exposed, Fang Yuan would definitely be the primary suspect. Even if Fang Yuan secretly escaped, he would suffer the whole clan's reckless chase. I can't give up over the Heavenly Essence Treasure Lotus. Even if I don't have its fusion recipe, who knows what the future holds? The problem is that once I take this Gu, it is akin to stabbing a hornet's nest and bringing calamity upon myself. Fang Yuan secretly considered every situation and decided he had to wait for the best opportunity to appear, to take this Heavenly Essence Treasure Lotus. This Heavenly Essence Treasure Lotus should be the last inheritance of Flower Wine Monk. But there are many suspicious points to this. Flower Wine Monk would have come to this place to refine the Heavenly Essence Treasure Lotus, so what kind of accident did he encounter to be so seriously injured that he had to hurriedly set up this inheritance before dying? Fang Yuan already knew the reason for the Flower Wine Monk to set up the inheritance. It was to take revenge against the Guu clan. If Heavenly Essence Treasure Lotus was to be taken out of the Spirit Spring, whether it was a success or failure, this natural Spirit Spring was bound to be useless. Without the natural Spirit Spring, Guu clan would have no foundation to stay here. It was only a matter of time before the clan broke apart. Forget it, I won't make any headway in my doubts without any new evidence. I should return to the village now. In the end, Fang Yuan shook his head and began to return back the way he came. When he had just exited the rock crack, a loud and clear wolf howl continuously resounded. This sound, Fang Yuan turned grim and quickly moved. When he reached the riverbank outside of the rock crack, he could smell a thick odor of blood. Sounds of cries, yells, wolf howls and explosions could be heard even though there was still some distance to the village. Fang Yuan concealed his figure and climbed a hill. It was early in the morning and the first rays of sunlight had just broken out of the sky. Countless wolf packs were rushing towards the Guu village like a flood. Fang Yuan's gaze swept past them, then his body trembled. In the rearmost part of the wolf packs, he saw a lightning wolf that was as large as a small hill. Myriad Beast King, Thunder Crown Wolf. It was tall and slim, had strong limbs, and its whole body was covered with eerie blue scales. Tufts of golden wolf fur could be seen on its claws and tail. The fur on its head were all stiff and upraised, forming a towering crown. It was crouching on the ground and was still like a sculpture. The frenzy lightning wolves and bold lightning wolves around it constantly howled, serving to show its elegance and nobility. Just by sitting there, it had already brought a great mental pressure to the Guu clan. The myriad beast king has finally arrived. It is the decisive moment for the survival of the Guu village. Fang Yuan gazed towards the village. Innumerable Guu masters were in fierce battles, using all of their strength to block the frantic charge of the wolf tide. Suddenly, around 10 figures flew out of the village and rushed against the wolf tide, charging towards the Thunder Crown Wolf. They were all elders, and in front of them was the clan leader Guu Bo. Chapter 164. Chapter 164, Intense Battle. If one wants to fight against the Thunder Crown Wolf, one must strike first. Its strength is just too great, and if it was let into the village, it would definitely cause great losses and damage. This group's capabilities were huge. With the rank 4 clan leader Guu Bo as the leader, and his elders as his support, they were a strong attacking force. The wolf tide was surging violently, yet they went against it with careful and compact cooperation. As if the group was a warship, splitting the waves apart, advancing bravely forward. Wherever they went, they were practically sweeping everything away in their path. The closer they got to the Thunder Crown Wolf, the more the pressure coming from the wolf tide increased. Guu Bo was calm and composed. Suddenly he stretched out his right palm, and slashed in front of him. Swoosh! A golden-colored moonblade, as big as a grown adult, formed in a split second and flew out towards the front. Swoosh swoosh swoosh! After flying out for a few meters, this moon disk suddenly went through a change, and from one blade it turned into 3. 3 moonblades flew alongside each other, bringing about the sound of the wind whistling as it plowed open 3 bloody paths like knives cutting meat apart. Many wolves fell without exception. Broken limbs flew into the air, and blood-curdling cries sounded non-stop. A frenzy lightning wolf roared and started rushing over fiercely towards the Guu masters from the right side. Let me! A clan elder suddenly went from a thin and dry appearance, turning into a huge fat man in one breath. With a bang, he used his round belly and sent the frenzy lightning wolf flying away. The frenzy lightning wolf had come in a torrential rush, and the greater the strength of collision the stronger the bounce back was. It was thrown across high into the air, cutting an arc and then finally falling down hundreds of meters away. The other elders were displaying all sorts of abilities. There were some with long hair like needles, continuously shooting out and sweeping away lightning wolves. Some of them had their bodies covered in light armor, forcefully bearing through the wolves, tearing and biting. The Thunder Crown Wolf went from a half-sitting state, and slowly got onto its feet. It firmly stared at the Guu masters rushing towards itself, and the wolf's dark eyes flashed with warning. It opened its mouth and let out a low roar, revealing its sharp and jagged wolf fangs. Each of the frenzy lightning wolves and bold lightning wolves that heard its roar immediately got up and rushed towards the Guu masters. The Guu masters were instantly slowed in their charge, receiving great obstruction. Clan leader, I'll leave it to all of you, clan elders. You have to win. Numerous eyes flashed and gathered on them. Unknown number of rallying cries and shouts sounded from the depths of the clansmen's hearts. This was the most crucial battle. If they lose the battle, the entire clan would face the danger of being wiped out. If victory was assured, then they would have held against the hardest moment of the wolf tide. This was the battle that would decide the life and death of the Guu clan. None of the elders backed off. They pushed forward, while drenched in blood. Even though they did not lose any numbers, none of them were spared from injury. They eliminated all the obstacles around them, until they faced the Thunder Crown Wolf, then charged towards it. Therapy Light Guu. Suddenly a middle-aged female clan elder stretched out both her hands, and a pure white, warm light bubbled forth. The light first flowed onto the clan leader's body, and then reflected onto each of the other clan elders. This was a rank 3 healing Guu with area of effect properties, and it could instantly cause the wounds on Guu masters to stop bleeding. Light wounds would be recovered completely, while heavy wounds would be healed by half. Continue fighting. Guu Bo roared loudly. 5 clan elders swiped their arms as they heard the signal, and sent a moonblade flying towards the sky. Suddenly a clan elder roared as all the muscles on his body erupted and expanded 3 times, becoming a white fur giant ape. It jumped in front of the group, its hands joined together. Guu Bo stepped onto its 2 hands, and with a low roar, the ape kicked from the ground and stretched out its waist, using all the strength in its body to toss Guu Bo into the sky. Moon invite Guu. Guu Bo spread out his left hand. It was giving out a hazy, whirlpool-like purple moonlight. The moonblades that the clan elders had shot towards the sky were all absorbed and annexed by this purple moonlight. Slash! Guu Bo's eyes shone as he shouted in a thunderous volume, splitting the air with his palms from up to down. Pew! Winds and thunder resounded as a purple moonblade, larger than a horse carriage, flew towards the Thunder Crown Wolf. This moonblade looked slow but was actually fast, and in a split second, it struck its target. The Thunder Crown Wolf howled, and at the last moment, a thunder-light armor appeared on its body. Bam! In the next moment, an intense explosion occurred as the sky was engulfed in eerie blue lightning pitting against the purple alluring moonlight. Numerous people squinted as the shockwaves spread from the impact, sending the ordinary lightning wolves in the vicinity flying. When the intense light dissipated, the GU masters were already engaging in battle with the Thunder Crown Wolf. The clan elders were all extremely experienced and well coordinated with each other. An aged old master with floating white hair shot out needles from it endlessly like rain. On another side, a female GU master blew out flames from her nostrils like lingering snakes, and she spouted a wave of orange flame and assaulted two sides at the same time. There were another 3 GU masters, one turned into a white ape, while another turned his muscles into steel from head to toe as they both tried to curb the Thunder Crown Wolf. The other GU master tossed out unending numbers of puppet GU, pouring his primeval essence and turning them into vine-armored grass soldiers or wooden servants with red spears, using them as fodder to attract the incoming assault. Healing GU masters stood at the outer circle, using therapy-like GU from time to time. Beside them were defensive GU masters, giving them care and protection. The Thunder Crown Wolf had been beaten badly. Its right front limb had a huge wound, the blood flowing non-stop. This was the outcome from the attack of the purple moonblade a moment ago. It roared continuously as it had fallen into the GU master's well-planned trap. Even if it had the spirits to fight back, there was not much it could do. The GU masters weaved and jumped around it like fleas on a cat or dog. They continued to move around and pulled space as they worked with completely chemistry. But the good situation did not last, for the Thunder Crown Wolf slowly began to adapt, while the wound on its body did not stop healing. It was clear that it had a healing GU on its body. This was very bad news. The healing GU's existence would mean that this is a war of attrition. Wild GU could just use the natural essence straight from the air, while GU masters could only use primeval essence from their own apertures. After the battle reached 15 minutes later, the Thunder Crown Wolf suddenly howled towards the sky, and a torrent of lightning flashes enveloped its whole body, while its speed sharply increased onefold. The elder who had turned into a white ape could not dodge in time. Unable to react to this change, he was bitten by the Thunder Crown Wolf and his skull was torn into two by the wolf's tugging. The Thunder Crown Wolf had torn a line in the battlefront, and with continuous swipes of its tail, purplish-blue electric currents rushed forth, the GU masters could only back away non-stop. In this dangerous moment, the clan leader GU Bo stood out. He was a rank 4 expert with powerful attacks and superior defense, like the center pillar of the group, using all his strength to salvage the situation. Mountain rocks broke and shadows dissipated as group battles enlarged. The aftermath ravaged the battlefield, and not a single lightning wolf dared to enter battle. The situation of the battlefield only became more desperate. The Thunder Crown Wolf's injuries became heavier and worse, the bleeding unable to stop, and bones could be seen in the deeper wounds. At the same time, the GU masters also suffered heavy losses. So far they had already lost 6 clan elders. If not for the village's clan elders' immediate and urgent dispatch, coming in to aid the fight, the battle might have long collapsed. Everyone, stand strong, holding is the key to victory. GU Bo killed until his eyes were red, and his voice was hoarse as he gave his all to rouse morale. But at this moment, the Thunder Crown Wolf suddenly went berserk, and its body was enshrouded in a layer of bright red light. Rank 4 Berserk GU. The Thunder Crown Wolf's strength, speed, agility and other attributes suddenly rose to twice the original base. Boom! There was a loud noise as it swiped its right claw, turning a clan elder into complete meat mush. With a flick of its tail, the sound of wind erupted and an electrical net flew out, trapping a field of grass and wooden puppets, then burning it all into charcoal. I can't keep up, my puppets are already used up. The elder cried out, frightened. With the situation rapidly changing for the worse, the terror of the myriad beast king was fully unleashed, leaving everyone in despair. GU Bo's eyebrows were locked tight, and it seemed like he was about to break his teeth from gritting, when he suddenly yelled, trap it, use the iron chain snake. As the clan elders heard this, they were awed in their hearts. Early during the start of the Wolf Tide, they had already displayed countless of battle tactics. This was a method that must only be used when there was no other choice. Wind snare GU. An elder cried out, and from his nostrils came a green breeze, wrapping around the Thunder Crown Wolf's claws. Swamp Gu. Another elder roared and crouched down, bringing his 2 hands down and slamming on the ground. Instantly, the earth below the Thunder Crown Wolf turned into mud. With these simultaneous attacks, the Thunder Crown Wolf's movements were slowed at that moment. Taking advantage of this opportunity, the other elders all stretched out their hands, and from their sleeves and pants, waves of black shadows shot out. The black shadow was about the size of a fist, and each length was around 2 meters long. On close inspection, one would see that each black shadow was a snake Gu. This snake was shaped like an iron chain, its whole body a gloomy black. Coils of metal rings were strung and connected together, and only the snake head looked normal. As it flew out, the snakes wriggled on the ground, quickly climbing onto the Thunder Crown Wolf's body. Their heads and tails then connected and mutually fit together, forming a metal net in the blink of an eye, taking root from the ground and trapping the Thunder Crown Wolf on the spot. But this situation was only temporary, for as the Thunder Crown Wolf struggled continuously, one by one, the iron chains would break off. In just 5 to 6 minutes, these metallic snakes would completely disintegrate away, no longer trapping the Thunder Crown Wolf. Kai Guang, Suo Ping, stay here and stop the wolf pack from attacking the metal chains. The rest of you, fall back to the village with me. Gu Bo shouted. He actually had chosen to retreat. However, the other clan elders did not show any surprised expressions, they had already known the clan leader's intention. They hurried back to the village, and immediately a clan elder came up towards them and said, "Lord Clan Leader, everything has been prepared." Gu Bo nodded, commanding the group to go to the clan pavilion. In the plaza before the clan pavilion, there was already up to 100 Gu masters seated on the ground. These Gu masters were mainly those who were seriously hurt and could not enter battle in a short period of time. Each of their faces carried a calm expression of facing death without fear. Meanwhile, for those who still had the ability to battle, they were fighting away on the front lines. With the battle reaching this moment, the clan had already given its all. In this dire situation, even the mortals had been mobilized, using each and every single human life to be turned as a meat wall, obstructing the wolf tide for the time being. This gave the Gu masters some time to recuperate and regroup. Gu Bo and the clan elders went into the ancestral halls of the clan pavilion. Under the memorial tablets of their ancestors, they all sank to their knees on the floor. To the great ancestor above me, we descendants are greatly ashamed. The wolf tide is turbulent, and the village has fallen into the situation of life and death. We beseech our great ancestor to come and give us a hand. When Gu Bo finished speaking in a low voice, the ancestral hall fell into deep silence. Drip drop. A few of the clan elders' blood seeped out from their hastily bandaged wounds, dripping onto the floor. Gu Bo and the rest of the clan elders held their breaths, not even daring to pant or breathe loudly. Back in the day, when the first-generation clan leader felt his death approaching, he set out to leave the village. Before his departure, he left a testament behind. It spoke that if the clan would ever fall into the danger of perishing, they could pray before his memorial tablet. At that moment, Gu worms would descend from the sky and help the village through the difficult situation. Throughout history, the Gu clan had suffered through major crisis a few times, and they had dealt with the calamity this way. This was the Gu clan's last trump card. Chapter 165. Chapter 165, Blood Guillotine. In the ancestral hall, it was deadly silent. The clan elder and clan leader lowered their heads like a big rock was weighing on their heart. After a Gu master dies, the Gu worms they leave behind will still have the person's will remaining. They cannot be considered wild Gu worms, and have had lost their ability to use the natural essence in the air. These Gu worms can be considered an extension of life of that particular Gu master. Everyone's heart was uneasy. The first-generation clan head had passed on for at least 1,000 years, so were the methods that he had left behind still effective? No one knew. After all, since the last crisis, it had already been 200 years. Why did they retreat? On the slope, Fang Yuan saw this scene and grew suspicious. In his previous life, his cultivation was too low, thus he could not learn about the clan's secrets. But soon his body shook, discovering that a group of flying worms had descended from the sky. This is, Fang Yuan's eyes squinted as cold light shone. There were up to 100 Gu worms flying around in a cluster, forming a red cloud, descending and landing on the village square. Buzz buzz buzz. The noises emitted by the insect group entered the ancestral hall, and the clan elders raised their heads, showing a frantically overjoyed expression. Thank you, great ancestor, for the protection. Gu Bo's heart felt at ease as he paid his respects before getting up. Go Go and see, the clan leader sighed. On his face, there was happiness, solemnness and grief, a complicated expression. Leaving the ancestral hall and standing on the building's stairway, everyone could see that on the village square, there was a red tornado rampaging. These GU worms were only around the size of a fingertip. They were shaped like locusts, with a scary face and was red all over. They entered the bodies of the GU masters sitting on the square, extracting their blood and primeval essence. In a few breaths' time, one insect multiplied into more worms. Thus, the GU increased greatly in numbers as time went by. There were constantly new GU worms being produced, flying into the GU master's skin and flying out, and then digging in again. In the village square, miserable cries and cold groans sounded, but not one GU master fled. Before they came, they were already informed by the clan elders. For the clan, they willingly tributed their bodies to feed the GU, using their own sacrifices to bring about the survival of the clan. These are all good lads of our clan. Gu Yubo seeing this muttered in a low voice, as the hand holding onto the railing shivered slightly. The other elders showed a painful expression, but did not say anything. This situation was exactly as recorded in the clan memorials. The first generation ancestor had left behind these GU worms, and they required GU masters' lives to feed. Only then are they satisfied and will help the clan to defend against external enemies. After these flying GU were full and satisfied, they flew up again with an even greater presence. In the blink of an eye, they had grown in number over tens of times. What was left on the square were piles of white bones as the GU flew out like a tornado, rampaging through the wolf packs outside the village. The blood guillotine indeed. Fang Yuan, who was standing on the slope, saw everything and thought in his heart. This blood guillotine is a rank 5 GU. Its usability and feeding are fused into one. It was a very strange GU. They specialized in consuming a GU master's life-bound origin blood, and after feasting, they would start to multiply, from 1 to 2, 2 to 4. If they were hungry and couldn't find food, they would start to eat each other, reducing the size of their group to sustain the expenditure they needed in moving around. At its peak, the blood guillotine could engulf the skies and lands, destroying villages in their path, and were more fearsome than many rank 6 GU worms. When it was weak at only 1 or 2 in number, they would barely have any power and is worse than a rank 3 GU. Especially when this blood guillotine GU advances into the highly acclaimed rank 6 demonic GU, blood deity. Among the top 10 great demonic GU in the world, it ranks 7th. In his previous life, when Fang Yuan created the Blood Wing demonic sect, he first wanted to refine the blood deity instead of the spring-autumn cicada. However, because of circumstances and many other reasons, he could only reduce his expectations and refine the spring-autumn cicada. This group of blood guillotines numbered up to tens of thousands. Like a tornado sweeping the battlefield, everywhere they went, wolf packs howled and wailed. They flew left and right, entering the lightning wolves' bodies, and in a few breaths' time, the lightning wolves' blood would be completely absorbed. But this beast blood could not allow the blood guillotine to multiply. Only a GU master's origin blood that contains primeval essence could achieve this effect. One after another, lightning wolves were reduced to dry corpses, lying on the ground and losing their lives. Only the bold lightning wolves and frenzy lightning wolves' lightning currents could resist this blood guillotine. However, they could only electrocute a small number of flying insects, before an overwhelming number of blood guillotines would rush up and suck them into dry corpses. Howl! The steel web broke completely as the Thunder Crown Wolf regained its freedom, howling in anger. The blood guillotine detected it and it gathered quickly, forming a large red cloud and engulfing the Thunder Crown Wolf completely. The Thunder Crown Wolf's tail swung around as blue lightning currents shot out and turned hundreds and thousands of blood guillotines to crisps. The popping sound was just like firecrackers going off. A gust of wind blew, bringing along the horrible burnt smell of the roasted blood guillotines. The blood guillotine was indeed a rank 5 GU, but without a user, it could only attack head-on. The Thunder Crown Wolf had several rank 4 GU residing in it, and some had a wide area attack method, countering this blood guillotine. The flying insects moved like a red cloud as the Thunder Crown Wolf's hill-like body howled and struggled, creating a havoc. At this moment, the Thunder Crown Wolf's large body became its weakness as the fingertip-sized blood guillotine took advantage of it. The battle was intense. As large numbers of blood guillotines fell on the ground, the Thunder Crown Wolf's armor was broken through, and some blood guillotines drilled their way in and started to suck blood wantonly. Without any other choice, the Thunder Crown Wolf could only spray lightning plasma on its own body, electrocuting these blood guillotines. But this way, its surface muscles were all fried, emitting a fragrant cooked meat smell. The wolf tide's attack on the village had already stopped. Under the Thunder Crown Wolf's command, numerous lightning wolves attacked the insect group instead. The GU masters could be said to have escaped death, and many held their breaths as they watched this intense and tragic battle nervously. The insect group was like a death plague. Numerous lightning wolves would rush in and drop dead soon after. However, the lightning wolves' sacrifice also caused the insect group to face high expenditure. The blood guillotine dropped in numbers. The original dense cloud had turned into a thin fog, and soon it was reduced to a small tornado still flying in the air. The Thunder Crown Wolf struggled and escaped, its mouth howling as it ran with all its speed. The blood in its body was almost half gone. Now its body felt soft and tired, while its running speed was not even 10% of the usual speed, and the lightning currents flowing on its body also became extremely scattered. As the leader of the wolf packs, the escape of the Thunder Crown Wolf caused the other lightning wolves' fighting spirit to diminish, and they also escaped all over the place. We finally did it. The GU masters, seeing this, became blank as some just collapsed on the ground, unwilling to get up. I'm actually still alive. Many GU masters' expression was complicated, some were filled with happiness while also in grief. Through the wolf tide, many clansmen were sacrificed. Buzz buzz buzz. The scattered blood guillotine group flew high into the sky, flying one huge round around the GUU village before vanishing into the clouds. Seeing this, Fang Yuan's eyes shone with a complex thought. The defeat of the Thunder Crown Wolf meant the village was now safe. In fact, most of the wolf packs were dead or injured, so they no longer had such a huge number. This wolf tide could be said to have been over. However, wolf packs bear grudges, and as long as this myriad beast king is not dead, during the next wolf tide it would attack once again. After many years of recuperating, it would become even shrewder and stronger. In the current situation, it was at its weakest. Killing it now and getting the GU worms on its body can help replenish some of the clan's losses. Yao Zhang, Zhe Yan, you two stay behind and take care of the situation. Other clan elders, follow me and assault the Thunder Crown Wolf. Gu Yubo hurriedly ordered, before leading the remaining 7 elders capable of fighting out of the village and towards the direction that the Thunder Crown Wolf escaped in. Fang Yuan's gaze shone, weighing in his heart, although the clan's power is greatly reduced, the current situation is not in a mess. Moreover, this blood guillotine has a suspicious origin, I better follow the clan leader and check out the situation. Saying so, he went into stealth mode and went down the slope. The Stealth Scales GU and the Thunderwings GU cannot be used concurrently. Thunderwings GU was a rank 3 GU, and once activated it forms a pair of lightning wings that cannot be hidden by the rank 2 Stealth Scales GU. Against the rank 3 clan elders, the Stealth Scales GU's hiding ability was not effective. Fang Yuan could only follow their tracks and keep a distance between them, not daring to get close. When the Thunder Crown Wolf attacked, he was still in the rock crack secret cave and did not participate in the battle. If he appeared now, it would attract the rage of the clan head and clan elder, and if they questioned him, he would have not been able to explain himself. The injuries of the Thunder Crown Wolf were very severe, so it could not move fast. After half an hour, Fang Yuan could hear that there was the sound of fighting and scolding ahead of him. He went there in stealth, getting onto a mountain rock, observing the GU masters fight. The Thunder Crown Wolf lay on the ground with many new injuries on its body. Blood was flowing non-stop as it was gasping for breath. Its dim eyes showed that it was very near death. Old geezer Bai, you and your guys sure have the face, coming here to take advantage of the situation. He, Gu Bo, that's not the right thing to say. This Thunder Crown Wolf was obviously stopped by us, get a clue and fuck off. Gu Bo and the Bai clan leader were at a standstill, wary against each other. The wolf den had 3 Thunder Crown Wolves, all myriad beast kings, each having their packs of tens of thousand lightning wolves. But they did not glue together, and neither could they suppress one another. The wolf packs' movements relied on working together. The 3 Thunder Crown Wolves had intelligence, each targeting the 3 large beast groups to hunt. In their eyes, humans were also wild beasts, and even prey. In their understanding, the wolf tide was a massive hunting session. On Qingmao Mountain, the Shang, Gu and Bai clan were able to live for hundreds of years. Naturally, they all had their trump cards. Shang clan was the weakest, still resisting the wolf tide with difficulty even now. The Bai clan had risen these years, and their cumulative strength had exceeded the Gu clan. After killing a Thunder Crown Wolf and pushing back the wolf tide, the Bai clan leader brought his clan elders to Gu village, trying to find some opportunities. To think that there really was such a chance. Thus they blocked the Thunder Crown Wolf in this valley. The Thunder Crown Wolf's body had many GU worms, and some were even rank 4. The Thunder Crown Wolf's blood, bone, eye and fur were all precious refinement material. The GUU clan naturally would not let go of them, and under intense anger, they attacked. He, Fang Yuan, you really came. I've waited for so long. On the mountain wall, a cold laughter was heard. Fang Yuan raised his head, only to see a white-clothed young man descending from the sky as an ice blade slashed towards his face with resolution. Chapter 166. Chapter 166. Second Battle versus Bai Ningbing. His hair snowy white and his orbs blue, a one-armed figure in white. Who else could it be but Bai Ningbing? Before the ice blade touched his body, Fang Yuan could feel a cold eerie feeling assaulting him from behind like a comet striking the earth, full of cold killing intent. Fang Yuan's irises were black in contrast, unmoving in danger, leaping backwards and injecting primeval essence into the sky canopy GU, creating a white armor to protect himself. Bam! The ice blade struck the ground heavily, and at that instant a bunch of white icicles grew from the ground, erupting upwards. Swoosh! The sharp icicles stabbed upwards at the direction Fang Yuan was retreating towards, creating an icy path. Fang Yuan easily somersaulted and avoided them. The mountain path was narrow, so he slid down towards the valley along the edges. He, Fang Yuan, oh Fang Yuan, why is it that every time I see you, I feel that intense urge to kill you? Tell me. Bai Ningbing excitedly shivered as he laughed maniacally. His laughter attracted the gaze of the other GU masters in the valley. Seeing Bai Ningbing and Fang Yuan, their expressions were different. Lord Bai Ningbing, let me assist you. A Bai clan GU master who originally stood at the side shouted and struck towards Fang Yuan. Clan leader, it is our clan's Fang Yuan. GUU clan's GU masters shouted. I know. Clan leader GUU Bo's expression was uncertain, and he dodged the Bai clan leader's attack as he decided, shouting, get the materials into our possession first. Fang Yuan had mysteriously vanished before the wolf tide arrived, causing the GUU higher-ups to feel highly doubtful of him. In addition, the intense pressure from the Bai clan GU masters resulted in no one going to reinforce Fang Yuan. Bai Ningbing saw help arrive and flew into a rage, shouting at the person, scram, this is my battle, don't interfere. Lord Bai Ningbing, you lost an arm and have reduced battle potential. You are the hope of our Bai clan, you cannot be lost. Let me sweep this obstacle for you. The Bai clan GU master shouted as he leapt, charging towards Fang Yuan. He activated his GU worm, both hands glowing with orange-yellow light. Bam! He lightly patted the ground, and the light entered the earth. Instantly, a lump grew from the earth. The mud lump advanced towards Fang Yuan as it got bigger. Suddenly the mud lump exploded, revealing a yellow mud arm. This arm was humongous, as tall as an adult as it grabbed towards Fang Yuan. Its power and presence caused others to feel suffocated. Fang Yuan snorted in disdain. Seeing this arm grab at him and about to succeed, a dark golden light suddenly shot out from his aperture, turning into a shiny ribbon of light, wrapping around Fang Yuan's body. The big arm reached his body but was twisted by this dark golden light, breaking and collapsing. Oh, what GU worm is this? Bai Ningbing showed shock on his face. The dark golden light dispersed, revealing the true form of the GU. It was over a meter long, as wide as 2 fists. Its dark golden exoskeleton displayed dominance as its sharp razor blades at the side of its body shone with cold light. Chainsaw Golden Centipede, come, Fang Yuan shouted, extending his right arm, his fist clenched. The chainsaw golden centipede's numerous segments climbed up his body nimbly, its body twisting and turning like a snake, coiling around his right arm. Its mouth opened and swallowed Fang Yuan's right fist in one mouth, all the way until half his forearm was swallowed. Fang Yuan's arm swung, and the meter-long golden centipede moved its tail. In the air, it drew an arc, emitting a crisp sound. At this moment, the golden centipede shrunk its body to the max, its near 2-meter length shrinking to 1.5 meters. At the same time its feet shrunk into the exoskeleton, leaving behind only 2 rows of razor blades. At one glance, Fang Yuan looked like he was holding a dark golden silver-bladed, giant hiltless sword. The reinforcement GU master was shocked. He had never thought that the chainsaw golden centipede could be used like this. The GU masters raising GU, refining GU, using GU, all 3 required deep research. Fang Yuan's method was innovative and unheard of, using his imagination to the limit. But actually, this method was not invented by Fang Yuan. 300 years later, a new demonic faction talent, the Chainsaw Mad Demon, would use the rank 4 Chainsaw Killer Centipede, one of the advancement paths of the rank 3 Chainsaw Golden Centipede. But in this life, Fang Yuan using it at this point is really unprecedented. I shall let you guys have a taste, Fang Yuan smirked, using the primeval essence in his aperture and injecting them into the Chainsaw Golden Centipede's body. Buzz buzz buzz. The Chainsaw Golden Centipedes, 2 rows of razor blades started to move violently, emitting a wild sound, causing others' heart to shiver upon hearing. Thunderwings Gu. Fang Yuan's eyes shone with determination as a pair of eerie blue thunderwings formed on his back with a crisp sound. Whoosh! The thunderwings flapped, causing Fang Yuan to shoot out like lightning. Fast, fast, fast. The speed was so fast that the Bai Clan Gu master's iris shrunk as he felt a chill. The smell of death was so close, and he shrieked as he used his strongest Gu, a thick yellow light appeared on his body. The yellow light was like armor, except that before it fully materialized, Fang Yuan had already gotten close. His black hair danced in the wind, his eyes like lightning, looking like a demonic god that emerged from nightmares, killing his way into the mortal realm. His movements were violent, and he completely exerted his muscles. As they tightened up, he used the strength of 2 boars to their limit. The golden centipede-like sword waved like a golden shadow in the air. The razors rotated violently, slashing towards the Bai Clan Gu master's waist. Crack! The yellow light armor broke under the slaughter of the chainsaw. It was never fully formed in the first place. At this moment, it scattered instantly. The razors entered the meat as if it was cutting butter, and as Fang Yuan flicked his wrist, the chopped-up meat flew all over the place along with the blood. The Gu master's spine smashed and his intestines were grinded to a pulp. The Bai Clan Gu master's upper half of the body flew into the air, while his lower half remained on the spot. Plop! He stared with wide-opened eyes, staring in fright at his lower half, dying in extreme fear and shock. This commotion caused the fighting among the 2 clans to stop temporarily. They all looked towards Fang Yuan, sending shocked, angered gazes. This Bai Clan Gu master was also a rank 3 elder, and was slightly famous. But under Fang Yuan's aggressive, dominant attack, he was instantly killed. Fang Yuan's body was still blood-bathed, with the Bai Clan Gu master's flesh still sticking to his clothes. The Chainsaw Golden Centipede's 2 edges were still rotating violently, and with such ferocity, it caused everyone to look away. What a great Gu worm! Bai Ningbing shouted, his eyes showing insanity and excitement. Fang Yuan, you did not let me down indeed. Come battle, he shouted, his passion blazing like flames, striking towards Fang Yuan. Noisy fucker. Fang Yuan's expression was cold as ice, turning around to counterattack. Bam! The Chainsaw Golden Centipede and the ice blade collided. With a cracking sound, the razors cut into the ice blade and caused it to shatter into pieces. In the next moment, the Chainsaw Golden Centipede broke through the ice blade and swept across Bai Ningbing's face. Bai Ningbing's expression changed as he resolutely let go of the ice blade and retreated backwards, almost 2 meters of distance away. The Chainsaw Golden Centipede when shrunk was only 1.5 meters. Adding on Fang Yuan's right arm, there was still a little distance before it could reach Bai Ningbing. But Fang Yuan willed, and the Chainsaw Golden Centipede suddenly extended itself. Bai Ningbing was dumbstruck and did not anticipate this turn of events. He was hit on the chest by the centipede's tail. Even with his ice muscles protecting his body, there was still a large cut on his body. At that instance, he felt a strong force assault him, and he was unavoidably sent flying, landing on a huge rock behind him. Blood splattered on the rock's surface, but his ice muscles soon stopped the bleeding. Bai Ningbing coughed intensely and was about to get up, but suddenly he heard a thunderous sound. The sound was right beside his ear, and an unprecedented sense of danger entered his heart. Bai Ningbing's iris shrunk as he did not even raise his head, but frantically rolled away. Bam! In the next moment, the Chainsaw Golden Centipede descended from the sky. With its imposing aura, it struck the ground that he was at a moment ago. The razors rotated violently, and the huge rock broke into pieces. If this hit landed on my body, I'm afraid. Bai Ningbing's heart chilled, and a sense of anger stemming from his indignant nature rose. Ever since his battle with Gu Qingshu, he had stopped suppressing his cultivation and let it rise naturally. Although he lost a limb, he had his complete cultivation, but was still suppressed by this rank 3 initial stage Fang Yuan. Indignant, humiliation, rage, kill, he growled, his wrist turning and injecting primeval essence into the ice blade Gu, forming a brand new ice blade. Seeing Bai Ningbing come closer, Fang Yuan laughed coldly and attacked with all he had. He had obtained the black and white boar Gu, thus his strength was greater than Bai Ningbing. At this point, when waving the chainsaw golden centipede, it was as light as a tree branch. Cut, slash, hack, twist, turn, the chainsaw golden centipede rotated violently, moving as agile as a bee in Fang Yuan's hand. At times it appeared heavy like an elephant, sometimes ferocious as a tiger, and sometimes flexible like a snake. The most crucial point was, the golden centipede followed Fang Yuan's will, extending and shrinking at times, sometimes longer and sometimes shorter, sometimes straight, sometimes curly. That made it hard for Bai Ningbing to adapt, and he could barely defend himself. He cried and screamed as he retreated gradually, his body filled with injuries. His white battle robe had turned into a beggar's attire. Fang Yuan moved like a black wind, his expression cool as he displayed an extremely profound sword technique, saber art, axe and rod skills. He fused all these skills into one, turning the chainsaw golden centipede into a lethal weapon. A GU depends on who the user is. Good on you, Fang Yuan. Bai Ningbing shouted after numerous ice blades broke. He finally realized that he could not go head-on against Fang Yuan. His body was bathed in blood and the ice muscle's defense was almost broken, but this let out his immense battle passion. If close range won't do, then long range it is. Blue Bird Ice Coffin GU. Bai Ningbing pulled some distance and spit out several times. Several flying birds flapped their wings and flew towards Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan did not fluster. With an unchanging expression, his left arm moved and the blood-colored moonblade stopped these ice birds in their tracks, causing them to explode in midair. People were normally proficient in using moonblades on only one arm, but Fang Yuan had such a rich battle experience, and even his left arm could completely shoot out moonblades without any deviation. Bai Ningbing, seeing that did not work, used the icicle GU. Icicles flew and mixed in with the blue birds to form a barrage attack. Fang Yuan's long-range attack was solely moonblade, thus he only chose to block the most dangerous ice birds. Against the icicles, he dodged some while tanking the others with his sky canopy GU. Bai Ningbing finally had a bit of an upper hand and wanted to increase his advantage, but Fang Yuan suddenly laughed coldly and shrugged his right hand, causing the chainsaw golden centipede to detach and burrow its way into the ground. This hidden threat was too much. Bai Ningbing was dumbfounded at this, scolding loudly as he quickly took steps back. Chapter 167. Chapter 167, a fourth one. You forced my hand. Bai Ningbing gritted his teeth, forming an ice blade. At the same time, he activated his swirl GU and fierce wind GU. The white ice blade storm appeared once again. At first it was just a small gust, but very quickly, the size expanded and the icy winds roared as the blizzard spread. The floor was slowly covered in hard ice, preventing the chainsaw golden centipede from emerging and attacking. This ice blade storm is a unique move of Bai Ningbing's. Evidently it showed the battle talent of the northern dark ice soul physique. This was formed by the ice blade GU, swirl GU and fierce wind GU. When used together, it created something that could attack and defend. Without two or more defense GU working together, one cannot resist it. The fierce winds roared and the ice blades froze all in its path. The white storm assaulted like a huge beast awakening, opening its mouth and devouring Fang Yuan. These three GU together form a ferocious offensive technique that can freeze all life. Even with the sky canopy GU's defense, Fang Yuan would probably be unable to block it. The storm approached, but Fang Yuan showed a look of disdain. The thunderwings behind him instantly flapped, pulling a large distance away from this ice blade storm. Times were different now. If this was the past, his movement speed would be lower than this storm, but now the storm could no longer catch up to him. Fang Yuan's eyes shone with brilliance as he turned his direction in midair, and flew towards the valley. The ice blade storm chased him relentlessly. Don't come here. Fuck off. Whether it was the Bai clan GU masters, or GUU clan, both were scolding and shouting. Fang Yuan laughed coldly, continuing his charge. The ice blade storm had an imposing aura as it continued to chase Fang Yuan while Bai Ningbing's laughter was heard from within. Don't think of getting any further. A Bai clan GU master blocked Fang Yuan's path. Fang Yuan's hand hooked, and from the ground a thick and long golden line jumped out and landed on his right arm, like a large sword. Buzz buzz buzz. The rampaging sound from the razors caused the Bai clan GU master's eyelids to shiver. Fang Yuan held the chainsaw golden centipede in his right hand as blood light shone in his left. He was using the blood moon GU but not shooting it. His body was covered in a white-colored armor, and thunderwings sparked behind his back. His black hair flew in the wind, and behind him there was a mountain-sized white storm. His presence was overwhelming, with his eyes emitting sharp killing intent, as if he was charging through the desert, a general with 7 victories under his belt. Stomping all his enemies into minced meat, and chopping any opponents into broken bones. Ah! The Bai clan Gu master felt an impossible pressure as veins popped on his forehead, and he suddenly shouted loudly, edging himself on. But as he shouted, seeing Fang Yuan was rushing towards himself without pause, he suddenly shut up and ran away. He was scared. The fear in his heart eroded his fighting spirit. Fang Yuan did not care about him, instead rushing over towards the Thunder Crown Wolf, who was on the verge of dying. Winds blew as his charging was fearsome, and everywhere he went, Gu masters avoided. The Thunder Crown Wolf forced itself to focus, turning its head towards Fang Yuan. Lightning gathered on its teeth. The myriad Beast King's pride refused to let itself die so easily. Even through death will it retaliate. Fang Yuan was seemingly about to collide onto the Thunder Crown Wolf like a meteor hitting Earth, but at the last second he suddenly jerked his leg and rushed up into the sky, flying out of the valley at a steep angle. He had just flown out of the valley when an intense explosion occurred behind him. The Thunder Crown Wolf's cries fused with the sound of the Ice Blade Storm. A move like the Ice Blade Storm could be said to be Bai Ningbing's masterpiece, but it had weaknesses too. It could not be easily displayed or stopped. Of course, this storm knocking into the Thunder Crown Wolf was also due to Bai Ningbing's personality. The Thunder Crown Wolf was heavily suppressed by the White Storm. It was already going to die, but now it could resist no further. Its armor was cut into pieces and blood and flesh flew all over the place, revealing its white skeleton, which was quickly minced into bone matter. Damn it! Seeing this, the Gu clan side all swore. The Bai clan Gu masters also showed a pained expression. With Bai Ningbing doing this, after the Thunder Crown Wolf dies there would no longer be any valuable loot left on its body. But Bai Ningbing did not mind it. Instead he rotated even faster, enjoying the feeling of devastating a myriad Beast King. Gu worms turned into rays of light one after another, flying out of the Thunder Crown Wolf's body. These wild Gu worms had all resided in the Thunder Crown Wolf's body, using each other to work together and survive. Now that the Thunder Crown Wolf was dying, they were like crewmen on a ship, abandoning the sinking ship and escaping for their lives. Catch them! Quick! Stop these Gu! The two clans shouted at once. The situation went into chaos again as clan elders attacked each other in attempt to hinder the other. The two clan leaders could not split themselves, thus finally, only 2 or 3 clan elders with movement-type Gu managed to fly out of the valley. The wild Gu worms ran everywhere and Fang Yuan focused and observed, trying to discern them. What a pity my Recon Gu is Earth Communication Ear Grass, it cannot increase my vision. There is definitely a healing type Gu on this Thunder Crown Wolf, but whether I can catch it or not, it's up to fate. This was betting purely on luck, but Fang Yuan had no choice. Recon-type Gu worm, there were all sorts of them, but right now he only had the Earth Communication Ear Grass. His thunderwings spread and he rushed towards the closest Gu worm. This Gu's body was covered in a blue light, trying to fly far away. Fang Yuan rushed up, opening his hand and grabbing it. Whoosh! Its body emitted an intense electric current and assaulted Fang Yuan. Thunderwings are formed by lightning, it has speed but is not flexible. Fang Yuan groaned as he used the Sky Canopy Gu to endure this attack. He could forcefully grab this Gu, but he wisely chose to give up. The ability of this Gu was already exposed. It was able to use electric currents to attack enemies, so this was obviously an attack-type Gu, but Fang Yuan wanted a healing Gu instead. Fang Yuan gave up on it and approached another Gu worm. When he got close, he saw this Gu's appearance, a body that seemed to be made of light blue glass, flying in the air with a semicircle shell that had turtle shell markings. Thunder Shield Gu. This was a defensive Gu, able to form a semicircle lightning shield. Fang Yuan gave up once again, looking around and finding his third target. But at this time, a white shadow came from the valley, holding an ice blade and shouting Fang Yuan's name. Fang Yuan sighed, knowing that Lady Luck was not on his side. He could only take the best alternative, reaching and grabbing towards the Thunder Shield Gu right next to him. Thunder Shield Gu created a lightning shield, its eerie blue lightning sparking as it tried to resist Fang Yuan's hand. Fang Yuan sneered, releasing the spring-autumn cicada's aura. Suddenly the Thunder Shield Gu became tame like it died, dispersing its shield and falling towards the forest. Fang Yuan waved and grabbed it in his hand, releasing his primeval essence and instantly refining it. Stealth Scales Gu. Ripples formed all over his body as he vanished on the spot. Fang Yuan, Bai Ningbing shouted, as his eyes shone with lightning. This is the rank 3 lightning IGU, using the power of lightning to break through stealth. But it did not have see-through vision. Fang Yuan noticed this, and although he was stealthed, he could also use the forest to conceal himself. Bai Ningbing's gaze swept through the environment and angrily growled as he had no findings. Fang Yuan found a hidden spot, instantly sitting down and activating the two-seed flower, making it spit out primeval stones. Although he was rank 3, his aperture only had 42% primeval essence storage, and though he had the upper hand during the previous battle, it could not be sustained. Right now, his aperture only had a thin layer of primeval essence left, being around 3%. GU Masters needed primeval essence to activate GU worms. Without primeval essence, GU Masters' battle strength would drop drastically. In fact, in extreme situations, they were even worse than mortals. The primeval stones continued to shrink, the natural essence injecting into Fang Yuan's body. The primeval C in his aperture started to rise gradually. Back then, when he was rank 1 or 2 and using the primeval stone to replenish his primeval essence, it was very noticeable. But now that he was rank 3, as the GU Master's primeval essence quality is greatly improved, more primeval stones are required and a longer time is needed to replenish it. Sounds of GU Masters battling continued to be heard. After 8 or 9 minutes, Fang Yuan replenished the primeval essence in his aperture back to the limit. He came out of his hiding spot, discovering that 5 clan elders had died. Among them, 3 were from GUU clan, 2 from Bai clan. Each clan elder was the clan's asset. To think that so many were sacrificed this time. GUU Bo and the Bai clan leaders' battle was very intense. They were feeling heartache from their respective losses, thus getting more aggressive in their attacks. Other than this, there were 3 fighting groups surrounding the wild GU worms. Ordinary GU masters do not have the spring-autumn cicadas help to capture wild GU worms, thus it was troublesome. To catch the GU worm, they cannot deal heavy blows. Instead, they need to gauge the strength they use. 8 to 9 GU worms had flown out of the Thunder Crown Wolf. It was not certain how many GU worms they had captured, but 3 still remained right now. The clan elders surrounded these 3 GU worms, striking as they blocked the worms while facing obstruction from the other party. This caused the scene to be at a stalemate, neither side's able to gain anything. Water Cage GU, trap it! A Bai clan GU master shouted, spitting out a water ball. The ball increased in size until it was over 2 meters, covering the GU worm completely and trapping it inside. Bam! In the next moment, a golden moonblade flew towards the water ball cage and burst it open by force. The GU worm flew away, escaping with its life. Seeing this GU worm fly away, the Bai clan GU master cursed. To think that a GU worm at his mercy got away just like that. The GUU clan GU masters were even more furious. These GU worms were originally their battle rewards, but now that the Bai clan interfered, they could not gain anything. Bai clan scoundrels, shameless dogs, go to hell. GUU clan, you guys are finished. Our Bai clan will definitely rise up and stomp you all to the grounds. Both sides were furious, full of hatred and madness. They had battled till their eyes turned red, and only fighting remained in their minds. Fang Yuan saw the GU worm fly away, thus he had no choice but to look at the other 2 groups. There was still a GU worm at each of their encirclement. There might be a healing GU worm, but it was unlikely. Fang Yuan knew that this world did not have things like a wish coming true, but even so he wanted to try. Just when he was about to rush up and attack, he heard a wolf's howl like a military horn, spreading out in rhythm, rising and falling in succession. Soon after, tons of lightning wolves rushed down like tide water. There was no lack to the sound of bold lightning wolves and frenzy lightning wolves, but the one that made everyone's expression change was the mountain-like giant wolf. Thunder Crown Wolf! There's a 4th Thunder Crown Wolf! The clan elders shouted as they could not keep their calm anymore. Chapter 168. Chapter 168, Lightning Lichen. Wolf packs were on the move, rushing in like the tide. The situation turned for the worst, and the 2 clan leaders and their elders' expressions changed. Although both clans managed to resist the wolf tide, it was through a dangerous battle and were Pyrrhic victories. Now that there is a new strong wolf tide, they had no way left to resist it. At once, both clans subconsciously stopped battling. The reports said there were 3 Thunder Crown wolves, right? A clan elder screamed in panic. No, this Thunder Crown wolf has lots of injuries, and the size of the wolf pack isn't very large either. GUU Bo forced himself to remain calm and analyzed. Don't tell me, this is the Thunder Crown wolf that attacked the Shang village. A clan elder slapped his forehead as he shouted. This was very possible, and most likely the truth. The clan elders were feeling solemn as one said, the fact that they appeared here, doesn't that mean the Shang clan already? That goddamn Shang village, how can they be so useless? Not even able to resist a wave of wolf tide. Someone scolded. But some were optimistic. You see, this Thunder Crown Wolf's forelegs are injured, the muscles have all shriveled. They followed the voice and observed, regaining some lost morale. It was true, this Thunder Crown Wolf's hind legs were developed, but its forelegs were smaller, with shrunken muscles. This caused it to only use the back legs when running, jumping forward like a kangaroo. Wait, this doesn't seem like a Thunder Crown Wolf. Clan leader suddenly thought of something, shivering. Lightning lichen. Fang Yuan had an answer already. 5 tigers 1 lamasu, 3 hounds 1 molossus, 10 wolves 1 lichen. The lichen was also a type of wolf, but it was far smarter than a wolf by many times, and was usually the strategist of a wolf pack. The lightning lichen before them seemed like a Thunder Crown Wolf in appearance, thus a Rakan Gu master's confusion is very common. But it was a true blue myriad beast king, and had intelligence no less than men. This lightning lichen, although inferior to an ordinary Thunder Crown Wolf in terms of physical strength, had human intelligence and was far more dangerous than a Thunder Crown Wolf. With a huge army of lightning wolves to command, it was no wonder that the Shang clan was exterminated by them. Go! Fang Yuan spread his wings and flew into the sky. These elders here had undergone long battles, and their battle strength was greatly eroded. They could not deal with the wolf packs, and more crucially, their misgivings towards each other made it hard for the two sides to work together. Fang Yuan turned around and left. The myriad beast king was no joke. Even though there was still 2 wild Gu worms flying around, he couldn't care less. He had to leave immediately, for any later and he might not have the chance. Knowing one's limits and being able to let go and give up, this is the #1 criteria to roam the world. Retreat, the wolf tide is huge, we cannot do anything to it. Get back to the village and plan our defenses. Even though the clan elders have not realized the lightning lichen's identity, they all had retreating thoughts. But at this time, the lightning lichen growled, opening its huge mouth. Its wolf fangs were sharp as a dagger, and in between, a black lump appeared out of nowhere, forming into a black ball in an instant. Pew! The black ball shot out, drawing a curved black trajectory in the air and smashing on the ground. It missed. This Thunder Crown Wolf is finished, its aiming sucks. The clan elders shouted about, but Fang Yuan flew even faster. Bam! The black ball of mist exploded and under that intense impact, the black mist spread all over the place. The speed was faster than the eye could see. In a short moment, it covered over 100 li, 1 li equals 500 meters of radius. This is the rank 4 wolf smoke Gu. Fang Yuan's heart sank. He had made the most logical response at the first moment. But the black wolf smoke spread too fast, completely enveloping him. At once, he felt like he was standing in the middle of the night sky, seeing nothing but darkness. Everywhere was thick smoke, making breathing difficult, and was extremely uncomfortable. But thankfully he had the Thunderwings Gu, so as long as he flew up, he could get out of the wolf smoke's range. Crack! In the next moment, a lightning bolt struck, splitting the thick black smoke apart like a thunder snake or a raging dragon, traveling over 100 li and assaulting Fang Yuan head-on. The lightning lichen attacked. The lightning was so fast a person could barely react to it. But at this crucial moment, Fang Yuan's battle instinct surpassed the speed of his thoughts, reacting in advance. Thunder Shield Gu. Sky Canopy Gu. A round lightning shield appeared in front of Fang Yuan, and on his body a white armor appeared as well. The raging lightning shone at an eye-piercing brightness like a heavenly dragon roaring, ramming onto the lightning shield. The shield lasted less than a second before it broke under the intense force of the lightning. The lightning landed on Fang Yuan. At that moment, even though he already shut his eyes, he still felt the light piercing through his pupils. An intense force assaulted him, causing him to fall. He was about to faint as the electric currents moved, paralyzing his muscles, almost causing him to forget to breathe. Plop! He landed on the ground. He finally only managed to regain consciousness after intense pain surged through him like waves. He endured the intense pain and numbness, and tried to get up. The Thunder Shield Gu was already dead, while the Thunderwings Gu was hit and barely held onto life. It was impossible to use anymore. The Sky Canopy Gu was injured heavily too, looking rather dispirited. After all, it was hit by such a strong electric current. The lightning lichen's attack emitted a rank 4 Gu worm's full power. The more a Gu worm advances, the bigger the difference between realms. For the attack of a rank 4 Gu worm, At least 2 rank 3 GU would be needed to defend against it. However, the lightning shield GU died because the previous battle had already caused it to sustain much injuries. To think that this lightning lichen thought so highly of me, Fang Yuan laughed bitterly, observing the surroundings. His surroundings were dark, full of thick smoke. Fang Yuan was unable to tell directions. Be careful, that thunder crown wolf became smaller. It is now as small as a normal lightning wolf and is hiding among the pack, a clan elder shouted at this time from the smoke. Fang Yuan heard it and his iris shrunk. This lightning lichen was too crafty, and very sinister. It probably wanted to eliminate all these GU masters, and when it attacked Fang Yuan, it showed that it did not want to let a single one of them off. The surroundings quickly shone with countless wolf eyes. The sounds of their growls and the sound of the wind from wolf packs running about were all heard by Fang Yuan. Under such a dark environment, the GU master's vision is greatly obstructed. But the wolf packs were unaffected, because they had given up on smell and gained excellent vision. I have to get out of here quickly. Who knows if I will encounter that lightning lichen? Even if I do not meet it now, just being surrounded by the wolf packs when I only have 40% primeval essence, it is insufficient to sustain my expenditure. Fang Yuan quickly considered in his heart, then he activated the earth communication ear grass. Over 10 roots grew out from his ear and extended outside. Many voices were heard. There were wolf cries, battle noises, clan elders' frantic growling and lightning wolves' sad cries when dying. Too confusing. The earth communication ear grass range was huge, but it could not discern small details. Fang Yuan frowned, only listening to a direction with less noises. But quickly he encountered a pack of over 100 wolves. Lightning wolves ran from the black smoke, each ferocious as ever. Fang Yuan summoned the chainsaw golden centipede and activated the sky canopy GU. The razors rotated violently and the centipede was like a large sword, cutting through the black smoke and landing on the wolves' bodies, causing a rain of blood and bones. Fang Yuan attacked like a boat trying to row uphill, eliminating his obstacles. Numerous lightning wolves died under the chainsaw golden centipede. But then the second, third they continued to assault him. This lightning lichen is too sinister and diabolic, actually making the lightning wolves surround us from the back. Fang Yuan had been moving in one direction, and after rushing for a while, he realized the truth at once after he kept encountering lightning wolves. He battled as he retreated. After a while, he was bathed in blood. The pressure was too large, the surroundings were covered in darkness, he was unable to see anything. Wolf packs rushed in from all directions, and it was difficult for him to deal with it alone. Gu Bo, what do you say? At this time, the Bai clan leader said from within the dark smoke. Alright, let's work together and get out of this first. Gu Bo shouted, quickly replying. This was the forced circumstance of the situation, only through cooperation can they have a chance of survival. Otherwise, by fighting alone, they would soon expend all their primeval essence on the lightning wolves and be turned into food. That would surely be a bad ending. Howl, fuck. In the next moment, with a wolf's cry, an intense explosion was heard and the two clan leaders shouted, no longer able to organize the clan elders. Evidently, the lightning lichen came out and did a sneak attack. It had a man's intelligence after all. Once it attacked, it was able to interfere with the two clan leaders' plan, and ruined the flow of the clan elders' resistance. Without the two clan leaders to suppress the scene, how can the clan elders work sincerely together? This was a huge question. I'm unable to go on. My primeval essence expenditure is too high, I need to borrow strength from others. After killing for a while, Fang Yuan felt exhaustion. He had the strength of 2 boars, but now he felt extremely sore all over. His primeval essence was no longer enough. He had injuries all over him, but he was forced to stop using the sky canopy GU. The chainsaw golden centipede's body was dim, its razors already in bad shape. In a short period of time, it had killed up to 1,000 wolves, and within that number, there were bold lightning wolves as well. A few of them were harder than steel, because they had a defensive GU. The chainsaw golden centipede was not invulnerable, and without razors, its attack strength would be greatly reduced, quickly becoming useless. Fang Yuan did not prolong any battles, he quickly moved as he fought. He relied on the earth communication ear grass to analyze the situation. Once he heard a frenzy lightning wolf's footsteps, he would change directions and try to avoid them. The frenzy lightning wolf was a 1,000-beast king, he could not fight it alone. Once he was pulled into battle, he would fall into encirclement, and that would be a dead end. I'm not satisfied. From the thick smoke, a clan elder cried as his voice came to an end. From the black smoke, the wolf packs attacked, and many clan elders died by the wolf's mouths, growling in helplessness and indignance. I can't hold on much longer either. Fang Yuan felt the aura of death, but he was still calm. The more dangerous it is, the calmer his mind. His heart did not waver at all. In his previous life, he had been in worse situations. The situation right now was still not that bad. With the two clan leaders fighting the lightning lichen, Fang Yuan still had a chance. Oh, fighting sounds ahead. Fang Yuan heard the noise and changed his direction. He was at his limits, so no matter if it was the Gu clan or the Bai clan Gu masters, they were useful to him either way. Kill, kill, kill. Far away, he heard this Gu master screaming, battling relentlessly. Fang Yuan sprinted over, and suddenly came to a stop. Bai Ningbing. Notes. Zhao Dian Bei Lightning Lichen. Well, to be honest, it directly translates to cunning electric bay. Since there's no English word for bay, lichen is used. Bei is actually a legendary wolf in China that may or may not exist. It's said to have two very short paws in front, so it rides on a normal wolf's back instead. Or something like that. Biao, legendary mythical tiger that does not have an equivalent English word. So I just subbed it with Lamasu. Chapter 169. Chapter 169, Finding a Path. Bai Ningbing's body was laden with injuries. He was breathing raggedly and looked like a mess. When Fang Yuan got there, both were stunned. Fate was indeed a mysterious thing. Just not long ago, they were still mortal enemies, wanting to kill each other. But in this moment, they had to work together for the chance to survive. Working together with Bai Ningbing. Fang Yuan's eyes shone like the abyss, evaluating. Although Bai Ningbing is batshit crazy, along with the fact that he also recognized his own fate, that does not mean he gave up on living. A will to live was a person's natural instinct, the most basic requirement of all. The truth is, because of Bai Ningbing's intense will to live and because he was facing an unavoidable path of destruction, he developed such a personality. In this world, there are no eternal enemies. Working together with Bai Ningbing was the best solution. But how can he ask it in a way that can convince him? He, Fang Yuan, to think it's actually you. Bai Ningbing spoke first, laughing loudly, his tone becoming aggressive, then die together with me. With you dying alongside me, it shall be an interesting end to my life. Interesting. Fang Yuan had a thought. Smiling lightly, he approached Bai Ningbing. The surrounding lightning wolves attacked, but Fang Yuan shrugged his hand, the chainsaw centipede swinging and killing 3 lightning wolves on the spot, sending them flying. Up till now, the chainsaw golden centipede's 2 rows of razors were already greatly damaged. Its cutting strength was greatly diminished. It could only be used as a blunt object. Under the pressure of these wolves, let's have an intense life and death battle, isn't that more fun? Fang Yuan got closer to Bai Ningbing, his mouth curling into a cruel smile. Bai Ningbing's eyelids trembled, he did not expect Fang Yuan to be a greater maniac than him. But this was in tandem with his wish. If Fang Yuan's attitude had gone softer, and in order to survive Fang Yuan wanted to work together and escape, he would instead look down on Fang Yuan, even feeling humiliated and wanting to kill Fang Yuan himself. In this world, some people are like this. If you be kind to them, they will feel that you are easy to bully, and look down on you. By having a strong attitude towards them, you can gain respect instead. You really want to die? Then I'll grant your wish. Bai Ningbing squinted his eyes, emitting a dangerous aura. Fang Yuan laughed heartily, his steps slow as he spoke in an old and experienced tone. Humans only live for 100 years, it is as unreal as a dream that ends in an instant. What is the point of a person living in this world? No more than just being on a journey, and witnessing interesting things. Although I do not want to die, I do not fear death. I am already on my right path, I have no regrets even if I die. This was Fang Yuan's true feelings. Since the start of time itself, who could live forever? Even if it was a rank 9 GU master. Or even Ren Zhu himself, who could only live longer, but not forever. They eventually face destruction. So be it if one dies, what's the big deal? Even if in the next moment, Fang Yuan dies in this wolf tide, he would have no regrets. Because he had already worked hard for his goals. He had given it his all, and lived all according to his will. Being able to look beyond life and death. Only then can one live unrestrained, only then can life have true freedom. Bai Ningbing heard this, and his entire body shuddered. He kept saying he was not afraid to die, but he was still never free and at ease. Because he could not see beyond death, and was unable to let go of this life. When a person fears, he becomes a slave. Bai Ningbing himself was just a slave to life and death. However, this was not his fault. since he was still way too young. Many things needed to be experienced by themselves, only then can one gain enlightenment. But now, Fang Yuan's words gave him a new path, to go beyond the truth that he is struggling with. Witnessing interesting things already on your path, no regrets even if you die. Bai Ningbing muttered, then suddenly asked, path, what's a path? Fang Yuan laughed coldly, getting closer, everyone has their own paths, I don't have to tell you mine, and how would I know yours? In this world, many people do not have a path through their entire lifetime, while some walked on their path constantly struggling, trying to find the sanctuary within the darkness. Bai Ningbing's blue eyes suddenly shone with a blinding light. Path, that's right, I must find my path. In this moment, the excitement in his heart was impossible to be understood by others. He was like a man, bitterly searching for a girl but to no avail, yet one day he finds the correct method. Or like a treasure hunter, blocked at the last puzzle for a long time, but one day he finds the method to solve the puzzle. Or like a difficult question, thinking for years without an answer, but suddenly finding the method to solve it. Bai Ningbing had no path and couldn't find the meaning of his life, thus he felt lost. Fang Yuan cannot solve his feeling of being lost, but from the sidelines he can give him hope. Giving him a consolation to face death, as long as you are on your path, even if you die there are no regrets. Thus, death is no longer so scary. I feel that I am about to find my own path. Bai Ningbing clenched his fists, his expression becoming extremely excited. He looked towards Fang Yuan, saying meaningfully, I finally understand our difference. You are on your own path, but I am still trying to find mine. He suddenly laughed, his expression turning crazy. Fang Yuan, if you want to fight, I'm all for it. But not now, let's work together. I have the lightning IGU, but my vision is obstructed, only able to see 30 steps ahead. Once we escape from here, let's have a battle another day. Being able to work together with my mortal enemy, don't you find that more interesting, more fun? Oh, how can I believe you? I'm not asking for you to believe me. You can choose to trust me, or not. You can entrust your back to me, or you can strike at any time, and sneak an attack on me. It all depends on your mood. Bai Ningbing shrugged as he smiled, showing an inborn nonchalance. The thick smoke was all over, and their surroundings were lit with wolf cries. Fang Yuan's eyes narrowed as he considered Bai Ningbing's suggestion. Convincing a person is very difficult, yet very simple. The important thing is accurately understanding their thoughts. All right. Fang Yuan stretched out his hand and caressed the chainsaw golden centipede's armor, raising his head, but be on guard for my sneak attack anytime. Bai Ningbing's mouth curled, smiling very deviously. A wave of air blew as the black smoke dispersed, and the broken arm sleeve swayed in the wind. In the thick smoke, to decide the direction, it was difficult. The more narrow their vision, the more easy it is to get lost. Bai Ningbing had the lightning IGU and could see up to 50 steps ahead. But now, it was restricted by the thick smoke, so he could see less than 30 steps ahead. However, this was already much better than Fang Yuan's normal vision. While Bai Ningbing had the lightning IGU, he could not see the entire topography, and had no clear understanding of the situation. He could only see what was ahead of him, and at times he even ran into a wolf pack and got surrounded by them. Fang Yuan on the other hand, had the earth communication ear grass. The smoke reduced vision, but could not block sound from being transmitted. The surroundings were noisy, and the earth communication ear grass could hear up to 200 steps away, but Fang Yuan could only move according to the noise. His vision was too narrow, only able to see a tree or a rock right in front of him. Without anything to compare to, he could not discern his direction. Cooperation, Bai Ningbing's lightning IGU, together with Fang Yuan's earth communication ear grass. The two GU together, complementing each other, caused the situation to be easier. This is the southern side. Going this direction, we'll get to the GUU village. Bai Ningbing's eyes glowed with lightning as he said. No, there's too many wolf packs there, we have to take a roundabout route. Fang Yuan's right ears had roots flying around. Then we'll go around the southeast direction, how about that? Bai Ningbing licked his lips. Fang Yuan squatted down, extending the roots into the soil and listening attentively. During that period, the lightning wolves that rushed up were all killed by Bai Ningbing. Fang Yuan listened for a while, before standing up. There's an opening in the southeast direction, but we have to hurry, the opening is going to be filled. Let's charge then, Bai Ningbing said, but did not move immediately. He still had some guard against Fang Yuan. He did not dare to attack ahead and reveal his back to Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan laughed coldly. he was also full of qualms towards Bai Ningbing. Eventually, the two killed their way through shoulder to shoulder, with a distance of 5 steps between them. The lightning wolves howled, attempting to kill them. But relying on the lightning IGU and earth communication eargrass, Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing could avoid strong enemies and continue to roam, finding an opportunity to break through. The advantage of having information was unveiled here. Bai Ningbing and Fang Yuan, if alone, they would be trapped by numerous wolves. But now that they worked together, they could control the initiative and started to have an easy time. After charging for a while, the path ahead of them was suddenly clear, and the bright sunlight caused both of them to squint. "We're out," Bai Ningbing laughed loudly. Fang Yuan looked back, only to see a thick black veil behind him, as if a black cloud had covered the entire mountain. The intense smoke continued to emit sounds of explosions and screams. Evidently the two clan leaders were still fighting the lightning lichen. "To think that working with you is actually quite pleasant." Bai Ningbing turned his body, smiling lightly. "I feel the same way too," Fang Yuan also smiled lightly. But in the very next moment, both of their eyes shone sharply. Ice Blade GU, Chainsaw Golden Centipede. The long ice blade cut through the air with a cold light. The thick golden centipede attacked head-on and carried the howling of the wind. Bam! Both sides collided. The ice blade cut a wound on the golden centipede's body, but broke right after. Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing both took a step back, both of their eyes emitting intense killing intent. Their temporary cooperation could not change their enemy status. Fang Yuan's black hair danced in the wind, while Bai Ningbing's white shirt swayed. Both had too much in common. Precisely why they became natural enemies. Black iris against blue orbs, almost creating sparks in the air. Both of their killing intent slowly dispersed. HMPH, this is but a dying man. Even without me interfering, heaven will take his life. What's most important now isn't Bai Ningbing but the heavenly essence treasure lotus. Once the lightning lichen attacks GUU village, it's most likely game over. I have to strike before that, while I have the chance, Fang Yuan analyzed, his eyes narrowing. Bai Ningbing's eyes became even brighter, muttering, "Path no regrets, that's right, even Ren Zhu has to die. Humans live and die, so as long as I can live an interesting life, what harm is there even if I die?" Thinking so, his eyes glowed with an intense brilliance. "Ha ha ha, I've finally found my path, and that is to witness this world's brilliance. Fang Yuan, we will battle another day. I hope that by then, your death can bring some light into my life." Saying so, he leapt backwards continuously. After pulling apart some distance, he turned around, leaving. Although he was in a mess, his body full of injuries and his face covered in soot, with only one arm left, but his back was straight like a sword, he was no longer lost. He had found his path. In other words, he had truly become himself. Chapter 170. Chapter 170. Can the blood of incorruptible justice be cold? Fang Yuan watched Bai Ningbing's figure walk until he was far away. Witness this world's brilliance. His two black pupils flashed with an imposing light. The Bai Ningbing who was no longer bewildered was more dangerous than before. Life and death no longer bothered him, and the closer he was to death, the more he would display the incomparable grace of the northern dark ice soul physique. However, wanting to fight me later, hey? Fang Yuan suddenly chuckled, "You are bound to be disappointed." The instant he came out of that thick smoke, Fang Yuan had decided to leave Qingmao Mountain. It would be interesting to fight with Bai Ningbing, but it was of no benefits to him. Bai Ningbing had set the definition of brilliance on Fang Yuan, and that was because he was young and his view of the world was limited to Qingmao Mountain. Fang Yuan, however, was different. In his grand plan since his rebirth, Qingmao Mountain was only a starting point. As long as the heart possessed great ambitions, one was bound to be broad-minded, not being constrained by small details with others. It's time to leave. The lightning lichen is more cunning and more difficult to handle than the Thunder Crown Wolf. Just with Bai Clan or GUU Clan's current strength, it will be difficult to withstand its attacks. Unless a rank 5 expert appears and turns the tide, or maybe if the two clans ally. Bai Clan and GUU Clan had deep grudges against each other. They would ally if the situation came to that point, but the alliance wouldn't be sincere. Fang Yuan wasn't optimistic about this prospect. Qingmao Mountain's state will be determined by this battle. If the two clan leaders are both killed by the lightning lichen, Qingmao Mountain will become the lightning wolf's territory. If one clan leader survives, then with the alliance, the other clan will only become cannon fodder. If the lightning lichen is killed, the two clans will definitely have to rehabilitate due to the severe casualties. The clan will tidy up its internal affairs and I will be investigated. Fang Yuan could clearly see the changes that could occur through this. This is the world of GU, and in here an individual's strength can rule over the group. Thus, the higher the cultivation of a GU master, the more power he has to turn the tide. No matter the Bai clan or GUU clan or the Lightning Wolf packs, as long as another rank 4 expert appears among any of them, the outcome would be a foregone conclusion. However, no matter the situation, they were all disadvantageous to Fang Yuan. It is time to leave. Although I still lack the ideal healing GU, how can one have everything he wishes for? After returning to the village, I will take the Heavenly Essence Lotus and then take out a healing GU from the clan storage before leaving immediately. Fang Yuan gave one last look behind him. The sound of intense explosions were still coming from the black smoke. He turned around and left, rushing towards the GUU village. With his status as an elder, he could forcefully open the clan storage and take out primeval stones as well as GU worms. There was unrest all around, people were frightened. It was the best time to take advantage of the situation. If this chance was let go, no matter what the battle outcome is, the general situation would be set, making it difficult to take advantage. Thunderwing's GU couldn't be used for the moment, so Fang Yuan could only run quickly through the forest. The wolf tide had ravaged everything in its path, making the once dangerous pathways peaceful and safe. Soon, Fang Yuan was able to see the GUU village in the horizon. Who are you? Fang Yuan swiftly stopped. Two strangers had appeared in front of him. These two were both wearing GU master's clothings. One was an elderly man. He was tall and his back was ramrod straight, giving a sense of being as steady as a mountain and as profound as a deep pool. The most eye-catching part was the copper mask that he was wearing on his face. The mask was of a plain design and gave an antique feeling. There were 3 openings on it, revealing the wearer's eyes and mouth. His eyes showed the vicissitudes of life and revealed a grand and righteous aura. His lips were pursed up, the contour in between as sharp as a blade, hinting at this man's firm willpower. The mask didn't cover his ears, exposing his graying temple hairs and revealing that this man should be of an older age. The one next to the man was a youth with eyebrows that were as upright as a sword, and eyes that were bright and shining, periodically sending out sharp glances that looked like an eagle or a tiger's. Looking at this appearance, the youth's age should be similar to Fang Yuan. However, this person's belt had a silver plate on it, carved with the character 3. So young and already a rank 3 GU master, this showed amazing talent in cultivation. This was a young genius. However, Fang Yuan's gaze only paused a moment on this youth, before turning towards the senior. This youth had a slight dark complexion with similarly pursing lips, the entire body releasing a sharp and professional aura, definitely not someone to be underestimated. But the slightly bulging chest area along with the structure of the limbs and throat allowed Fang Yuan to instantly see through her identity as a girl. Fang Yuan would never look down on women, but compared to this heroic girl, the identity of the middle-aged man beside her would shock anyone. Tai Shui Lang. Fang Yuan's mind jolted, he inwardly recalled the identity of this middle-aged man. The man was wearing a copper mask, and the square amethyst plate on his belt was carved with the character 5. He was the rank 5 GU master, enforcer of the law, a great detective, the #1 investigator of the southern border, divine investigator Tai Shui Lang. He was impartial and merciless in upholding justice. Many demonic path cultivators had been arrested by him and many vile characters beheaded. He was the model example of the righteous path, and had made a very high reputation for himself by solving countless cases as he traveled throughout the southern border. Little brother, please wait. Tai Shui Lang cupped his hands to Fang Yuan. He had already made a name for himself for a long time and was also a rank 5 GU master, but his attitude was polite and amiable. Seeing little brother's state of injuries and hurried appearance, did your esteemed clan leader and elders encounter trouble? He asked. Fang Yuan automatically changed his expression to that of anxiety and astonishment, while mixed within them were doubts and fear. Who are you guys? How do you know this? Right, we were chasing after a Thunder Crown wolf but we ran into trouble by encountering a lightning lichen. I am hurrying back to request reinforcements. I am Tai Shui Lang, I am an ally, not your enemy. I just came from GUU village. Little brother, you don't need to return for reinforcements, the beast tide concerns all humans and we need to join hands to face it. This Tai shall contribute all he can. Tai Shui Lang immediately took this task upon himself. Damn it, to think that I, GUU Bo, will die here today. HMPH, even if we die, we can't let this lightning lichen get off so easily. GUU clan leader and Bai clan leader were full of injuries and had almost exhausted their primeval essence. Right now, they could sense the grim aura of death. The thick smoke had already dispersed. All the elders had died, and only these two clan leaders were left. The lightning lichen also didn't fare well. Its body had some deep wounds from which one could see its bones. It bared its teeth and retreated to the back of the lightning wolf packs, its eyes flashing with a sly look as it retreated from fighting in the front lines. "Come, you coward," the Bai clan leader furiously roared. However, the lightning lichen kept on retreating backwards and then let out a howl, commanding the ordinary lightning wolves to charge towards these two rank 4 GU masters. Cunning bastard, Gu Bo and Bai clan leader looked at each other, and sighed. They had prepared to make a strong counterattack before dying, but the lightning lichen had a wisdom that didn't lose out to humans and wasn't fooled. "My life is over. Damn this, we are going to die in these ordinary lightning wolves' mouths." Just when these two clan leaders were becoming extremely distraught, a voice suddenly arrived from a distance. "Two leaders, hang in there for a moment." The voice echoed through the mountain forests. The two clan leaders' bodies jolted and they immediately turned to look, noticing a tall figure rushing towards them. The figure repeatedly flashed, freely moving through the wolf packs. After a few moments, the figure stood beside the two clan leaders. "You are?" the two clan leaders asked at the same time. "My name is Tai Shui Lang." Gasp! The Bai clan leader drew in a long breath in shock. He was surprised, joyous and also puzzled. Why was Tai Shui Lang here? Gu Bo, on the other hand, was aware of the reason as he joyfully said, "So it is Divine Investigator Tai." Just as he said this, the wolf packs charged in. A bunch of foul creatures. Tai Shui Lang's tongue seemed to burst with thunder, and with a low shout he willed a Gu in his aperture. Boom! A formless aura suddenly erupted, radiating and engulfing everything. This aura was like a mountain, indomitable and unshakable. It was like the heaven itself as it overlooked the world and saw through everything. Righteous Gu. Only a Gu master who had a righteous heart could use it. The righteous aura could weaken vile creatures. Within its range, the lower the willpower of his enemies, the more the weakening effect. Tai Shui Lang had once used this Gu to make a rank 4 Gu master lose his fighting strength and surrender completely. This was the supreme art of subduing enemy without fighting. Howl howl, the lightning wolves' momentum stopped. Their limbs were trembling under the pressure of this aura, and they didn't dare to move forward. Hou! The lightning lichen gave out a battle cry from the back, trying to command these lightning wolf packs. Such nerve! Tai Shui Lang glared and suddenly stretched out his right hand, making a grabbing motion towards the lightning lichen. Rumble! Ripples spread in the sky, and an enormous black iron hand tore the sky apart and grabbed towards the lightning lichen. Rank 5 Iron Fist Grappling Gu. The lightning lichen was cunning, but it lacked bravery. In addition to that, its body was riddled with wounds, so it didn't dare to resist this move head-on, and instead quickly dodged. However, this black iron hand had firmly locked onto the lightning lichen, and it kept on chasing. The lightning lichen wasn't able to escape from it. Its vicious personality was stimulated, it gave a loud roar and fiercely collided against the black iron hand. The enormous hand shattered, but the lightning lichen received serious injuries. Almost all its bones were on the verge of shattering. It let out miserable whimpers but didn't dare to fight Tai Shui Lang again. Finally, it resentfully looked at Tai Shui Lang and the two clan leaders, before it tucked its tails and ran away. It is about to escape. Quick, stop it, the two clan leaders shouted, but Tai Shui Lang stood on the spot and didn't move. Divine Investigator, please finish it, Gu Bo cupped his hands and implored. Tai Shui Lang slightly shook his head. At this time, Fang Yuan and the young girl finally arrived. They had seen how the lightning lichen had been forced away by the iron hand. Dad, why did you do that? You were injured. The young girl quickly approached Tai Shui Lang and stamped her feet in anger. Her reproaching tone was full of concern. Ruo Nan, this lightning lichen is very cunning. Chasing it away by force is the best way to deal with it. Tai Shui Lang spoke, when suddenly his body slightly trembled. Puff! He spurted out blood from his mouth. There was a strange, gloomy greenish color in his blood, and as the blood fell on the ground, it immediately corroded a patch of green grass, letting out an unpleasant smoke. Clearly, he had suffered serious injuries. Dad, are you okay? The young girl, Tai Ruo Nan, quickly lifted her hands and tried healing Tai Shui Lang. No need to make a fuss about it, you know of my injuries, I will feel a lot better after letting out some blood. Tai Shui Lang laughed and waved his hands, refusing the treatment. Seeing this scene, the two clan leaders who had been feeling resentment just before, immediately felt embarrassed. Divine Investigator is selfless, you helped us even though you were suffering from serious injuries. We will deeply remember this favor. I have heard of Tai Shui Leng's great name, and today I can see that it is fully justified and worthy of admiration. We thank Divine Investigator for saving us. The two clan leaders cupped their hands one after another and expressed their thanks. Lord Divine Investigator, please honor my Bai village with your presence. This gratitude of saving my life, I will do my best to repay. The Bai clan leader said. How could Gu Bo just watch as the Bai village tried to bring Tai Shui Leng away? He knew why Tai Shui Leng was here, and gave a proud smile. I know that Lord Divine Investigator is here due to Jia Fu's request and has come to investigate that murder case. Our Gu clan will do our best to cooperate. Bai clan leader's expression changed when he heard this. Tai Shui Leng said, it is so. However, the one in charge of this investigation won't be me, but my daughter Tai Ruo Nan. Immediately, everyone present turned to look at the young girl. Chapter 171. Chapter 171, Inbred Demonic Nature. What, father, you want me to solve the case? The girl pointed to herself, her face in utter shock. Why, are you unwilling? Tai Shui Leng smiled gently. No, of course I'm willing. Tai Ruo Nan finally reacted, jumping in joy. Tai Shui Leng nodded, sighing in a complex tone, you aspire to walk the same path as me. These few years where you were by my side, you have been greatly influenced by me and learned much. An eagle can only learn to fly by itself, only then can it truly grow up. Your father is old already, my injuries cannot be cured. I cannot continue being with you as you live your life, and as the newer generations replace the old, what happens next is up to you. Father, don't give up yet, isn't there still hope for treatment? The young girl's voice trembled as she choked back tears. You and I both know that the chances are infinitely slim. People have to learn to face facts. Ruo Nan, Tai Shui Leng laughed, then turned towards Gu Bo. Don't worry Gu clan leader, this daughter of mine has learned at least 80% of my abilities. With my guidance along the way, she will not let your clan suffer any injustice. Of course. Gu Bo quickly cupped his fist. Young heroines are on par with males, such an elegant disposition and the child of a hero, there is no reason for me to worry. Please come to the village and let us feast upon your arrival. The dishes filled the entire table, with the fragrance overwhelming the surroundings. Clear wine was poured out from the wine jar in a straight line into Tai Shui Leng's cup. The wolf tide was just over, and Gu village was in its toughest period. Large amounts of resources had been expended, causing a food shortage and lack of commodities. Many mortals would starve to death. But even so, to welcome Tai Shui Leng, Gu clan still assembled this banquet. As the clan leader, Gu Bo sat at the clan head's seat, while Tai Shui Leng and Tai Ruo Nan were beside him. Other than that, Gu Kai Zhang, Gu Zhe Yan, Gu Mo Chen, Gu Yao Ji, as well as Fang Yuan and the others, all being elders, were present. Before the wolf tide, Gu clan had over a dozen clan elders. But now, only one table remained, and there were less than 10 elders. Moreover, the clan elders present were all injured to varying degrees. Especially in the case of Gu Mo Chen. 2 weeks ago when he resisted the wolf tide, he was heavily injured and had been hiding in his private room to recuperate. He was resting in bed, but when he heard about the arrival of Tai Shui Leng, he forced his body up and attended this banquet. But this also let him escape the crisis, while his old rival Gu Kai Lian had followed the clan leader in assaulting the Thunder Crown Wolf and was killed by the Lightning Lycan. If not for Brother Tai's help today, I might have become the Lightning Lycan's lunch already. For saving my life, I toast Brother Tai this cup. Gu Bo stood up, holding the cup with both hands and bending his back, sincerely offering his gratitude. I was only doing what I could. Tai Shui Leng raised his cup, drinking the wine in one go. He had a vigilant and strict lifestyle, refusing to gamble or find prostitutes, standing by his morals and never went greedy on drinking. He had thus, never been drunk. After drinking this cup, Gu Bo looked at the people in the banquet, his eyes turning red, sighing and sitting down. Tai Shui Leng had seen such situations many times, and he consoled, Gu clan leader, my condolences. As long as your clansmen still exist, the village will definitely thrive again one day. That lightning lycan was heavily injured as well, and the lightning wolves have greatly been damaged, they will not attack for the next few years. This wolf tide has been safely endured. The wolf tide's harshest period is indeed over. For the next few months, although lightning wolves will still appear, their quantity will continue to decrease, and no large groups will be formed. The wolf packs no longer have the ability to directly charge at the village. The lightning lichen will return to the wolf den and recuperate there, while slowly organizing the remaining wolves. Many wolves will be recalled, and many lightning wolves would die, causing the wolf pack's need for food to decrease drastically. The wolf packs would become self-sufficient, and in the next few years, they would gradually get stronger, during which new 100 beast kings, bold lightning wolves, 1,000 beast kings, frenzy lightning wolves, and myriad beast kings, thunder crown wolves would appear. At its peak, it begins to weaken, and at its weakest, it begins to prosper. Regardless of humans or wolves, they follow such a law. But although Tai Shui Leng's words were right, humans are not grass or trees, they have feelings. The Gu clan leader understood this fact much better than Tai Shui Leng, but the misery and pain in his heart was unavoidable. The sacrifice was too big. Just the higher-up clan elders were already gone by at least half. As for the rank 2 and rank 1 Gu masters, they had an even larger amount of casualties. The entire Gu village's strength had fallen to rock bottom, and could no longer endure any more disasters. Why is it that you guys do not counterattack, and go wreck their den? On one side, Tai Ruonan could not understand and asked in confusion. That is because inside the wolf den, there are over dozens of groups of thunder gas worms, amounting to over 1 million of them in total. There are also large numbers of wild Gu mixed in. It is hard to cause any damage to them, unless all 3 clans work together, Gu Yaoji explained. Saying so, she suddenly snorted, staring at Fang Yuan, but this possibility is too small. Even within our clan, there are clan elders shrinking in fear, and during the wolf tide's attack, God knows where they were hiding. Saying so, all the other clan elders turned their vision towards Fang Yuan. Previously, Fang Yuan was inside the rock crack secret cave exploring the flower wine monk's inheritance, causing him to miss the huge battle in resisting the wolf tide. In everyone's eyes, this was being crafty and evasive, as well as being timid and fearing death. Thus, the clan elders' expression towards Fang Yuan were all full of unhappiness, disdain, and some hidden anger. Even Gu Bo's expression was looking ugly. As the clan leader, he was most revolted by people like Fang Yuan, doing things according to their own will, mysterious and having their own little schemes. He could not feel safe with such a person around. The atmosphere at the banquet immediately transformed. The Tai father and daughter also felt this change, following everyone's gaze and looking towards Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan's young appearance had attracted the attention of Tai Ruonan, who was the same age as him. Fang Yuan drank his wine calmly. Even though everyone's gaze was on him, he acted as if he felt nothing. His expression was calm, as he already had anticipated such a situation of people finding problems with him. Things are getting troublesome, he sighed in his heart. Although worried, he was not frightened. Tai Shui Leng's appearance had heavily destroyed his plans to leave. If he took the Heavenly Essence Treasure Lotus and destroyed the foundation of the Gu village, this would cause the Tai father and daughter to arrest him. The name of Divine Investigator is not just a myth. With his abilities and strength, as long as Tai Shui Leng commences his chase, there is no possibility of failing. Even if he does not take the Heavenly Essence Treasure Lotus, his mysterious disappearance would cause the clan to investigate. As it involves Jia Jinsheng's death, even the Tai father and daughter would get involved. If he left without notice, in their eyes it would be a thief trying to escape, running from his crimes. With no choice, Fang Yuan could only choose to stay and observe the situation. Although everyone reprimanded him, the situation now was still not at its worst. If he left right now, that would be a panicky move, and it would cause the entire situation to worsen. Is the wine nice? Gu Yaoji laughed sinisterly, staring at Fang Yuan, aren't you going to explain? Fang Yuan slowly put down his cup, raising his head and looking at Gu Yaoji's broken arm. The old are the most cunning, this is extremely true. To preserve her life, Gu Yaoji broke her own arm, and under the name of being injured, she avoided the clan mission of entering the battlefield. This happened in Fang Yuan's previous life as well, but to think she did the same thing once again. Her act of sacrificing one limb to save her life was indeed effective. It prevented her from getting killed by the Thunder Crown Wolf and not participating in the chase, thus keeping herself alive. However, right now she was finding problems with Fang Yuan. One aspect was due to old grudges, but mostly was because she wanted to bring the attention to Fang Yuan and reduce people's attention on herself. What do you want me to explain? Explain how you broke your own limb just to preserve your miserable life. Fang Yuan sneered. What? Gu Yaoji was shocked and enraged, standing up from her seat. She stared with both eyes wide open, pointing at Fang Yuan's nose, shrilling, "You little rascal. How dare you accuse me like this? This is blatant defamation, slander. How can you be so shameless? How can our Guu clan have such a joke like you? Guu Yao Ji. Guu Bo's expression changed, shouting, sit down at once, we have an important guest here, how can you scream and shout freely like this? Guu Yao Ji wanted to continue scolding, but on seeing Guu Bo's dim expression, she could only swallow the words she was about to spit out. She stared angrily at Fang Yuan, sitting down reluctantly. Guu Bo settled Yao Ji's problem, then turned to look at Fang Yuan. Elder Fang Yuan, I need an explanation. During the attack of the wolf tide, where were you? Fang Yuan, he's Fang Yuan. Tai Shui Leng's eyes shone with surprise. In Jia Jinsheng's mysterious disappearance, Fang Yuan had played an important role. Before coming here, Tai Shui Leng had already gotten much intel from Jia Fu. But to think that this young elder was Fang Yuan himself. At once, Tai Shui Leng's heart became interested. He had solved numerous cases and could see the peculiarity from all the traces of evidence to guess the actual fact. From everyone's expression, he could tell the truth behind Fang Yuan's sudden evasion from battle. But the truth that everyone knew was only scratching the surface. What is the utter reality? Regardless of what the truth is, Fang Yuan's answer would reveal a fragment of his inner thought. That would be very helpful in solving the case later. Sensing Tai Shui Leng's attention on him, Fang Yuan's heart tightened, but his expression remained the same. He looked at everyone plainly, and a mocking smile appeared on his face. There's not much to explain. Since Clan Elder asked, I'll just say it out. I was extremely frightened back then. The stress accumulated during this extensive period, as well as my fear of death that had reached its limits. I could not endure it. I was cowardly and weak. I hid in a corner and no longer dared to enter the front lines. Once he said so, everyone was dumbfounded. They had expected Fang Yuan to use all sorts of excuses and reasons, and were prepared to expose his lies and criticize Fang Yuan. But to think he admitted it directly. Any kind of lie, as long as it is not true, will have loopholes. Furthermore, Tai Shui Leng is here. Fang Yuan's expression was calm, looking down and staring at the wine in his cup. Tai Shui Leng's expression turned weird. He subconsciously frowned, and a sense of loathing and antipathy rose in his heart. This young man, he has an inbred demonic nature. Chapter 172. Chapter 172. No one more suited than Fang Yuan. At the banquet, it was utter silence. Everyone was stunned, staring at Fang Yuan blankly. They had not expected him to reply like this, directly admitting it so honestly. He's too young after all, actually saying such words. HMPH, once he said that, it means his entire political career is ruined. From now on, this Fang Yuan is no threat anymore. The clan elders furiously assessed. At this point into the wolf tide, the outcome had already been decided. In the next few months, there will only be small wolf packs moving about. As the lightning lichen continues to call them back, as well as the GU masters killing them, the lightning wolves would basically vanish completely by the end of the year. But conflicts never end. At places with people, there are interests. And where there are interests involved, there are conflicts. During the wolf tide, it is the struggle between man and wolf. But now that the toughest part of the wolf tide is over, the clan's internal struggles surface above the water, turning into internal strifes. The wolf tide assaulting the village caused many GU masters to die. Some factions were destroyed, and the interests they once held, naturally has to be distributed. Among the GUU clan higher-ups, there were originally many clan elders to divide the interest cake of the entire village. But now that only Fang Yuan and the other elders amounting to less than 10 remained, that cake was still whole and intact. To split this large cake among themselves, they would have to compete against one another. Political battles, although not as flashy or bloody as the wolf tide, was full of schemes, plotting and setting traps. It was difficult and harsh. At first, Fang Yuan as the only newly advanced elder, had a strong momentum and attracted great attention. But now that he admitted his mistake, it completely ruined his political career. It was tantamount to giving up the chance to compete for this interest cake with the other clan elders. At once, Fang Yuan's threat level towards the other clan elders became much lower. Their gaze towards Fang Yuan showed that the pressure they felt towards him had reduced. At this time, clan leader Guu Bo sighed, since Fang Yuan himself admitted to it. As clan leader, I have to punish you for the act of running away from battle. According to the clan ancestors' rules, runaways will be stripped of their clan elder status, but the final result shall be decided by me and the other clan elders. We'll decide on your punishment after a discussion. But regardless of the result, I hope you can accept it. The others showed a weird expression. Fang Yuan nodded, not speaking, as if he had submitted to fate. Ji Yu Yao Ji broke her own arm to save her life. This was decisive and ruthless. Fang Yuan was the same, except he lost even more, giving up his clan elder status. His greatest problem now is the sudden appearance of the Tai family father and daughter. If he got involved in the political turmoil now, facing suppression from other elders, his situation would get even more dangerous. Letting go, willingness to let go, among taking and letting go, that is life. The identity of clan elder was to cultivate better, that is its only purpose to me. To pursue eternal life I walked on the demonic path, I am willing to discard my own life. What else can I not discard? Clan elder status, HMPH. Fang Yuan did not feel a shred of regret or annoyance. This was the wisest decision. Moreover, although there's a punishment, it would definitely be minimized. After all, there were little clan elders left, and as a rank 3 GU master, his strength was greatly valued. The clan leader has to punish him on one end, but also needs to borrow his strength to stabilize the entire village's circumstance, thus he also needed to give in to Fang Yuan. As for the other clan elders, Fang Yuan had stepped out of this political contest and no longer held any threat. They would not offend Fang Yuan anymore. After all, if they force Fang Yuan to retaliate, isn't it finding trouble for themselves? Although there is the clan system, but what is a system? A system is just a tool to maintain the interests of those in power. On one hand it governs and divides the interest of the lower levels, but it is also the rules that contain the higher-ups as they compete against each other. Fang Yuan laughed coldly. These matters, he was clear as day, the truth was transparent to him. The most crucial point now, is the Tai family father and daughter. Fuck, they came much earlier than I had anticipated, even before the wolf tide is completely gone. HMPH. But such a behavior perfectly fits Tai Shui Leng's hatred towards evil, and his selflessness in fighting crime. Thinking of this, Fang Yuan felt a strong pressure. Even though Tai Shui Leng is injured now, his battle strength was not something Fang Yuan could compete against. A starving dying camel is larger than a horse, it is this logic. I need to leave the village, but I also need to avoid the pursuit of the Tai father and daughter pair. How can I get out of this predicament? Fang Yuan was vexed. This Tai family father and daughter was not as easy to confuse as Jia Fu. Moreover, Fang Yuan's cultivation was too low. Even if he had 1001 plans, what could he do without actual strength? Rank 3 and 5, it was a world of difference. Everyone, I have something to say. At this point, the silent Gu Mo Chen suddenly said. His expression was pale as he had dragged his injured body to the banquet, and he did not drink wine, only sipping tea. But what he said next shocked people to death. There's something I have to be honest about. Elder Fang Yuan did not manage to enter the battlefield, and that was due to me. What? At once, the other clan elders were shocked. Oh, what do you mean? Gu Bo asked. Fang Yuan sent a glance over, hiding his shock. Why would this Gu Mo Chen stand up for himself? During this wolf tide, the Mo faction inheritor Gu Mo Bei had already died unfortunately. Even though the Mo faction had to the greatest of their ability protected Mo Bei. On the battlefield, surprises were aplenty. Moreover, during the wolf tide, everyone was in danger, sometimes they can't even take care of themselves, what more towards others. Gu Mo Chen sighed. To speak the truth, my granddaughter Gu Mo Yan had fallen deep in love with Elder Fang Yuan. Before this, she had come to beg me, kneeling on the ground and crying, not willing to see Fang Yuan die on the battlefield. I only have one granddaughter, thus out of selfishness, I kept Fang Yuan in my estate and knocked him out. It was only until we chased the lightning crown wolf that I let him out. Thus, everything was due to me, it is my fault. It has nothing to do with Fang Yuan. What? Oh, is that really it? The clan elders were suspicious. Gu Mo Chen's words were quite a stretch, it was rather unbelievable. Love and relationship among youngsters is common, Gu Bo nodded, staring at Fang Yuan with deep meaning, wanting to find out some clues from his expression. But Fang Yuan looked down with a calm expression. There was nothing to see. Clan leader was disappointed. The other clan elders exchanged glances, not understanding why Gu Mo Chen was so defensive of Fang Yuan. Him saying this in order to aid Fang Yuan, it meant that he had sacrificed his own reputation and ruined his own political prospect. Gu Mo Chen continued, in order to protect my reputation, Elder Fang Yuan willingly let himself suffer the injustice. But I have already erred once, how can I make a mistake once more? This is the truth. As for the punishment, I implore Lord Clan Leader to consider. I admit my mistake, and as with the rules, if my clan elder status is to be stripped, I have no objections. Clan leader quickly waved his hand, saying, Elder Mo Chen has worked hard all these years. What you did was understandable. Humans are not grass or wood, how can we not have feelings? Now that our clan is greatly weakened, we need loyal and strong elders like you. But this is still your own selfishness, thus the punishment still needs to be decided. We have an important guest today, let's not talk about this now. Come, Brother Tai, I and the clan elders shall offer you a toast. Saying so, Gu Bo stood up. The other clan elders stood up as well, raising their cups. Everyone is too kind. I still have to trouble you all later, I hope I can seek your understanding. Tai Shui Leng did not put on airs, standing up and drinking his wine. In the courtyard of the Mo faction, flora and fauna were abundant. The artificial mountain had a spring flowing with crystal clear water. In the night sky, the moon hung high in the sky like a plate. The banquet had long ended. Fang Yuan sat in the cooling pavilion as he listened to the sound of the flowing water, and he placed down his teacup with a plain expression. Sitting opposite him was Gu Mo Chen. After the banquet was over, he had invited Fang Yuan over for a discussion. Come, have another cup of tea, this bamboo leaf clear water tea is good in eliminating hangovers. Gu Mo Chen laughed, pouring personally into Fang Yuan's cup. Fang Yuan's expression was calm, and on seeing the cup being filled again, he said, indeed a good cure for hangovers. Saying so, he looked outside the pavilion, only to see that the pale white moon had radiated the grounds with its moonlight. Under the moon, the pavilion was quiet and graceful, but in the wind there were lurking shadows, showing how the Mo faction courtyard was turning from a prosperous state to a declining one. During the banquet, Fang Yuan had already understood Gu Mo Chen's intention. Seeing this scene, he was even more sure of himself. The Mo faction had no inheritor left. Once Gu Mo Bei died, the entire Mo faction would lose its inheritor. Although Mo Bei still had his sister Mo Yan, the clan rules was that, since ancient times, it favored males over females, and the assets can only be inherited by a male and not female. Even if Gu Mo Yan gets to rank 3 next time and advances to clan elder, her assets do not represent the Mo faction but only her own. If she married anyone, this asset will be transferred to under her husband's name. If they lost their inheritor, a clan's political influence would have no prospects, and no one would join them. The Mo faction had already fallen into difficult circumstances, on the verge of breaking down. But heaven always left a way, and the Mo faction was not truly at its wit's end, there was still a sliver of hope. This hope lies in Gu Mo Yan's hands. Although she is a female, she can marry someone. If the son-in-law marries into the Mo faction, he would have an acceptable status, and can inherit the Mo faction. Seeing that Fang Yuan had no inclination to mention it, Gu Mo Chen scolded this crafty lad internally, but had to speak, I wonder what Elder Fang Yuan thinks of my Mo faction. He had an unspeakable grief. Ever since his injury, his cultivation had fallen to rank 2, without any chance of ever regaining rank 3. He could only rely on his Gu worm to conceal his true aura. But paper cannot cover fire, he would be exposed one day. His only inheritor had died, while he himself was rank 2 and would lose his clan elder identity. Gu Mo Chen needed someone who could hold the fort to sustain their faction. Back then, he had both authority and status, thus the Mo faction controlled a large amount of the interest cake. But now that the clan's factions were reorganizing themselves, he did not want any more interests. As long as he can defend what he already has, that would be the biggest victory. He pondered left and right, and the most suitable person was Fang Yuan without doubt. Chapter 173. Chapter 173, White Form Immortal Snake. Sunset clouds are blown away as cool wind fills the air, and the jade disk spins silently in the Milky Way. Bai Ningbing looked out from the window and gazed at the night sky. A bright and sparkling moon was shining in the sky. Occasionally, wolf howls could be heard in the distance, adding some bleakness to the peaceful moonlight. In the study room, the Bai clan leader was sitting at his side with a dazed expression. Just a moment ago, Bai Ningbing told him about the Northern Dark Ice Soul physique. Northern Dark Ice Soul. 10 Absolute aptitudes. The Bai clan leader mumbled constantly. I have already sensed that my end is nearing, my aperture is gradually unable to endure the burden. These past few years, I've truly caused you much problems. Bai Ningbing softly sighed. His expression was calm, no longer was there the abnormal reckless and crazed state as before. What replaced them was tranquility and peace. This tranquility and peace came from his heart. He had found his path and was no longer perplexed by life and death. People mature over time, and the stimulation from life and death could further speed up this process. Moonlight fell down like flowing water, illuminating Bai Ningbing's fair skin. Under the flowing radiance, his two blue eyes shone with depth. He was like a beautiful young man from a painting, with white hair and white clothes like the immortals in the clouds, causing people to look intently. How could this happen? You were clearly a grade with 99% primeval essence when your aptitude was tested. It absolutely wasn't the Northern Dark Ice Soul. The Bai clan leader was still refusing to accept it. It was indeed so, but one day when I was cultivating, my aptitude suddenly advanced. I checked the ancient scrolls and records in the clan and found some information on this. Every 99% a grade aptitude has the possibility of advancing to 10 absolute aptitudes while cultivating, Bai Ningbing said. All 10 defy the heavens, and the heavens can't tolerate them. Even Renzo's 10 children didn't have a good end. Sigh, is there really no way to salvage it? Bai clan leader felt pity and regret when he looked at the beautiful boy in front of him. He was the clan's pride and their hope to rise up in power. However, his life was already nearing its end. Despite glowing brightly, he was like a firework which could only shine splendidly for one single moment. There are no ways to evade my impending doom, but there are some ways to delay it. However, all these methods need many years to prepare, which I don't have. Bai Ningbing said all this and gave a light laugh, as if the one being discussed about was not him, but some irrelevant outsider. Don't worry, who doesn't die? True immortality doesn't exist. As long as we live our life interestingly, it is enough. He was instead consoling the clan leader. I cannot accept this. I absolutely cannot. Damn it, my Bai clan has been suppressed by the Guu clan for centuries. We finally found hope, but it ends up like this. No, there is still hope. Bai clan leader's voice got louder and louder till suddenly, his expression turned firm as if he had decided on something. Follow me, I will bring you to a place. He stood up and said. After a while, the bright moonlight shone upon a deep pool. This is the spirit spring? Bai Ningbing asked. He had been led by the Bai clan leader as they went through a long secret pathway, and finally arrived here. Indeed, this is our clan's restricted area, the location of the spirit spring. You also know this. Every clan's foundation is established upon a natural spirit spring, where the primeval stones produced by it will be used to provide for their cultivation. Our Bai clan can only be considered a small medium-scale clan, and only by annexing Guu and Shang clan as well as possessing at least 3 springs can we become a large-scale clan, Bai clan leader sighed. Then clan leader, what did you bring me here for? Bai clan leader's face revealed a complex expression, and as he turned around to look at Bai Ningbing, his expression contained some hesitation. I had originally never thought of bringing you here. However, the affairs of the world are hard to anticipate. To think, you would end up possessing Northern Dark Ice Soul. Your only chance at living lies within this spring. What is in this spring? Bai Ningbing asked. A great immortal, Bai clan leader said with a deep voice. Great immortal, Bai Ningbing was flabbergasted. Great immortal is its title. It is a snake Gu left by our Bai clan's first-generation ancestor. It likes cleanliness, and its food is the water of Spirit Spring. It has always been secretly living in the Spirit Spring, Bai clan leader introduced. Before the first-generation ancestor passed away, he set up a secret inheritance and left behind this snake Gu as a clue. If you can get the approval of the Great Immortal, it will open the secret inheritance for you. But if you can't receive its approval, the Bai clan leader stopped his sentence in the middle. What happens then? Bai Ningbing asked. Bai clan leader's expression turned grave and he said, it will kill you. At the same time, Guu village. Inside the room, Tai Ruo Nan kept her recon Gu and nodded with satisfaction. The environment here is pretty good, it's rather clean. The clean she referred to wasn't talking about the cleanliness of the room, but was pointing at the lack of surveillance. It was impossible to say that there absolutely wasn't any surveillance. After all, Tai Shuileng was rank 5, so he possessed too great of a threat. Hence, there was a necessity for some precautions. However, Guu clan's defensive and surveillance measures were just at the right amount and the level was quite low too, not creating any feelings of provocation and aversion. It could even be taken as excessively earnest and passionate reception, which was why Tai Ruo Nan gave the assessment of, rather clean. Tai Shuileng slightly nodded. Ruo Nan, you have followed me for so long and have learned many things. However, some things can only be learned by taking actions and not just by spectating from the sides. Hence, I handed this case to you. Father, I will definitely work hard and give my best. Good. Then, let me ask you, what should your next step be? Tai Shuileng was deliberately testing her. Tai Ruonan smiled. She turned around and gazed at the moon through the window. The moon is beautiful tonight. Dad, can I have the pleasure to take you around this Guu village? Upon hearing this, Tai Shuileng revealed a gratifying smile. When starting out on a case, it was not urgent to understand the details of the case. The first step to solve a case was to survey the surroundings. The father and daughter pair slowly walked through the streets. After resisting the most terrifying attacks of the wolf tide, Guu clan was now in a wretched state. There were collapsed bamboo buildings and bloodstains all around. Junks were piled up all over the place and feeble moaning sounds of crippled people could be heard from time to time. The Tai father and daughter pair walked around the village without saying any words. Fang Yuan, you bastard, fuck off. Suddenly, a loud roar came from within a courtyard. The Tai father and daughter stopped walking. After a long while, the courtyard gate opened and Fang Yuan walked out while rubbing his nose with a vague smile on his face. Hello, little brother Fang Yuan. Tai Shuileng took the initiative to send his greetings. Junior pays his respects to Lord Divine Investigator. Fang Yuan constrained his smile and cupped his hands. Little brother, we are new here and don't know the place well. Is it possible for little brother to tell us a thing or two? Tai Shuileng suddenly asked. Tai Ruonan glanced at her father, but she didn't make any comments. Fang Yuan's gaze hardened. He was just about to go meet them, but this opportunity was delivered right up to him. Both of you have traveled a great distance and suffered hardships to come and solve the case. The whole village ought to help you. Please follow me. Fang Yuan spoke directly without showing the slightest evil intention, and walked in front. The spirit spring was raging like the boiling water. All of a sudden, the spring water rose up like a tidal wave. After it reached a certain height, the spirit spring scattered and splashed in all directions. A slender white snake, its whole body covered with snow-white scales, tread on the waves and revealed its elegant appearance. Its eyes were like jade, cold and indifferent. On the two sides of its head were a pair of long whiskers, floating like celestial ribbons. Rank 5 White Form Immortal Snake Gu. I pay respects to Great Immortal. Bai clan leader emotionally kneeled on the ground, and at the same time anxiously urged, Bai Ningbing, why are you not kneeling down? I will never kneel before a Gu. Bai Ningbing coldly snorted, his body standing upright and tall. Although the white form immortal snake Gu released an ethereal cold grandeur with heavy killing intent concealed within, Bai Ningbing was not the least bit afraid. His two blue pupils directly stared at its snake eyes. Time seemed to have stopped at this moment. The spirit spring and the Bai clan leader had become insignificant background objects. Under the bright moonlight, the picturesque youngster with blue pupils and the silver-whiskered white snake gazed at each other. After a good while, the white snake suddenly gave a long cry and turned into a white rainbow, slamming into Bai Ningbing. Bai Ningbing's body jolted. The white light entered his aperture and turned into a white snake. The white snake occupied the central area of his primeval essence, and with its tyrannical attitude, all the surrounding Gu were immediately forced to the side. This situation, Bai clan leader stood up with a puzzled expression. It doesn't match what the clan's secret records say. According to the clan's secret records, once a Gu master obtained approval, the white form immortal snake Gu would fly with the inheritor and open the inheritance in the sky. However, the current situation was somewhat weird. The white form immortal snake Gu took the initiative to enter Bai Ningbing's aperture and didn't kill him, which should mean that it had approved of him. But why didn't it carry Bai Ningbing and fly to the sky? Could it be that the secret records were wrong? Bai clan leader couldn't make sense of it. Time quietly flew by. That more or less sums up everything about Guu village. There is the underground cave, but that is a restricted area of the clan and outsiders aren't allowed entry. Fang Yuan said. He looked at the bright moon in the sky and continued, it is getting late, please go and rest, you need to have the energy to investigate tomorrow, right? Ha ha ha, Elder Fang Yuan is correct. We are really thankful for Elder Fang Yuan's directions, please go and take a rest, Tai Shuileng said. In that case, I will take my leave. Fang Yuan cupped his hands before directly leaving. Tai Shuileng looked at Fang Yuan's figure with interest, and only after Fang Yuan turned into a corner, did he take back his gaze. Ruonan, what do you think of this Fang Yuan? He suddenly asked. I don't like him, my intuition tells me he is covered in shadows. The young girl frowned. Tai Shuileng nodded his head, I know you have the intuition Gu which strengthens your intuition, but we need definite evidence to solve a case. Just relying on intuition alone won't be convincing. Don't always depend on your intuition, I do not want you to use the intuition Gu to solve this case. Yes, father. Chapter 174. Chapter 174. Junior Divine Investigator. Tai Shui Leng said again, now, analyze this person Fang Yuan. Father, you suspect it is Fang Yuan. Tai Ruonan was stunned, but continued, he is a very logical and intelligent person, and when he introduced the village to us, every word he said was appropriate and well organized. Gasp. Quote. Tai Ruonan suddenly drew in a mouthful of cold air. She frowned, I didn't notice this earlier, but after you just reminded me, I realized it. This Fang Yuan is too good at speaking. Everything he said is objectively the truth, abandoning his personal feelings. Standing at a bystander's perspective, and describing calmly. Not allowing others to find flaws in his words, thus not able to get additional clues. His words were very, very, very clean. The young girl hesitated, before using the word, clean. Tai Shui Leng nodded, but then shook his head, he did not abandon his feelings. Everyone has feelings, and even a cold-blooded murderer has feelings. He only concealed his personal feelings very well, and was in full control of his emotions. This lad has a demonic nature. Demonic nature, that's right, think about it. He spoke the truth during the banquet, saying he was frightened and did not dare to enter the battlefield. Tell me, if it was a normal person, would they do that? Tai Shui Leng asked. Tai Ruonan shook her head, no, GU masters put the clan's honor and their own reputation higher than their own lives. But, that might not be certain, for in history there have also been many people who sacrificed their own reputation, right? That's right, but who were those people? Tai Shui Leng's gaze was deep. Tai Ruonan considered, before her expression changed, they were all outstanding individuals. That's correct, throughout history, those who sacrificed their own reputations only had two aims. One was that they had a greater aim in mind, and compared to their aim, reputation is worth nothing. The other is to preserve themselves, defaming themselves to prevent suspicion. Tai Ruonan's eyes shone, Father, you are saying. You are thinking too much. I just feel that this young man is very interesting, but too bad he is only AC grade, Tai Shui Leng said. The moonlight was like water on this night. Fang Yuan walked on the empty street, his footsteps slightly heavy but filled with determination. After interacting with Tai Shui Leng earlier, he was indeed what the rumors said. This Tai Shui Leng had a gaze that could see through the world, and his intelligence and wits were deep like a chasm. He swept through the southern border for tens of years, establishing his famed name, he really was an outstanding talent. Wanting to remove his suspicions in front of such a person was extremely difficult. As long as they had enough time, they would definitely discover the truth. Now is a race against time. But, Mo Faction's recruitment, I can make good use of it. Not long ago in the Mo Faction pavilion, Fang Yuan had given absurd demands. In return for marrying Mo Yan, he wanted 100,000 primeval stones, 10 rare GU worms and each at least rank 3. This made GU Mo Chen furious. He was marrying away his precious granddaughter, but Fang Yuan still had more demands. Such a shameless way to ask for gifts, and so greedy, it was really the last straw. Thus, the discussion faltered, and he chased Fang Yuan out. Fang Yuan left immediately without any inclination to stay. He knew Mo Chen's intention, thus he would definitely compromise. His absurd demands were just a way of bargaining, paying the lowest price when buying, and asking for the highest price when selling. But this matter has equal benefits and demerits. Although with more primeval stones I can feed the heavenly essence treasure lotus, my original plan to get out of the political spiral would be ruined. In tonight's banquet, GU Mo Chen sacrificed himself to salvage my political career. From then on, he might face all sorts of elders' suppression. GU village's political situation now was. Clan leader was healthy, while for the two important elders, GU Kai Lian was dead but the Kai faction was not finished yet, as inheritor Kai Cheng was still alive. At the same time there was still GU Kai Zhang, an elder from the same faction. But Mo faction lost its inheritor and Mo Chen was heavily injured, falling to rank 2, unable to even keep his clan elder status. The two formerly large factions had already gone downhill. The medicine faction in contrast were mostly healing GU masters. As supports they had little sacrifice while still keeping most of their strength, and were on the verge of rising up. Medicine faction was originally the clan leader's faction, but now it had the ability to be independent. Regardless of whether GU Yaoji chooses to be independent or rely on the clan elder, in order to strengthen themselves, they would need to snatch and merge. And the weakened Kai and Mo faction were the best targets. If they did not strike now, later on when the two factions stabilize internally it would be much more difficult. Being in the human world, many things are not up to me, why not just let down my hair and sail away to the seas? Sailing with the winds and breaking waves as I travel 30,000 li, that is the true demonic path I take. Fang Yuan raised his head, looking at the moon as he sighed. He wanted to get away from the political spiral, but Gu Mo Chen dragged him back by force. He faced pressure from all the factions, and Tai Shui-Leng was already starting to solve the case. On the other hand, Bai Ningbing had already regained his new arm. Like a boat traveling in the darkness with danger lurking everywhere, how was he to open up a path for himself? The next day, what? You said that the person who murdered Jia Jinsheng had already been found and was killed already. Tai Ruonan felt extremely perturbed. This morning, she had woken up early and officially started to solve the case. But to think that the first information she got was that the killer had already been sentenced. That's right, the killer is a demonic GU master. He once assassinated our clan's rising star and tried to kill the genius, thus he was killed on the spot. A clan elder provided the information. Is that really so? Did he admit personally that he was Jia Jingsheng's killer? Tai Ruonan frowned deeply. Beside her, Tai Shui-Leng wore a copper mask as he stood like a statue. He didn't. But, if it's not him, who else could it be? The clan elder shrugged. Tai Ruonan thought internally, this is all an assumption, there is no real proof. But whether it is the truth or not, this demonic GU master has to be investigated clearly. Most likely, this is a lead that will bring us to the truth. Thinking of this, Tai Ruonan raised her head abruptly. Where is he buried? I want to inspect the corpse. In a simple and torn coffin, there was a corpse within. The rotting smell assaulted noses, and clan servants and GU masters were so disgusted that they ran far away to hide. Tai family father and daughter acted as if they were unaffected, and Tai Ruonan's eyes glowed brightly, excitedly stretching her hand and inspecting. A person's corpse has lots of traces. At times, one or two small injuries would be the evidence needed to point out the murderer. On this corpse, there were many injuries, but the person's appearance was still clear, and he was still wearing his original clothes. Tai Ruonan checked for ages, and only then did she get up with a lingering interest. Anything? Tai Shui-Leng asked lightly, testing her secretly. Gu clan thinks this person is Jia Jinsheng's killer, thus they kept the corpse well. There's a huge problem in this corpse, Tai Ruonan answered. He's a middle-aged man, right arm thicker than the left, both his hands have a thick callus. Seeing how his callus is distributed, they are uneven. There are many injuries on his body, numerous fatal wounds, showing the intense battle he had before death. But on his body there are also a lot of hidden injuries, especially his left foot having 3 less toes, this is left behind from many years ago. Saying so, she continued deducing, he was most likely a hunter. There are many evidences, his disproportional left and right side and the callus on his hands shows that he's an experienced bowman. There are many injuries made by wild beasts on his body, like claw marks and bites, showing he often fought against beasts. His clothes are not the traditional GU master clothes, and his shoes are even more interesting, weaved from bamboo hemp grass. This kind of grass only grows near Qingmao bamboo, and Qingmao mountain only produces Qingmao bamboo. Other than that, in the surrounding mountains there is no bamboo hemp grass. So what are you getting at? Tai Shui-Leng pursued. Before this person became a demonic GU master, he was a hunter. From his clothes, he was most likely a resident hunter on Qingmao Mountain. Tai Ruonan's eyes shone brightly. Why do you think he is a resident here? If it is the grass shoes, he could have killed the villagers here and worn them, Tai Shui-Leng rebuked. That's not it. The most special part of his clothes is the shoes, because if they were taken by force, most would not fit his size perfectly. But look at this, 2 disproportionate legs and yet the shoes fit nicely, this is made just for him. He has 3 less toes on his leg feet, thus the left grass shoe is shorter. His stump is very cleanly cut and sharp. I assume it is most likely due to stepping on a trap by mistake, Tai Ruonan said. Tai Shui-Leng did not deny it nor confirm it, and did not even give any criticism. Like what he said earlier, he left it to Tai Ruonan to solve the case. Tai Ruonan continued saying, with this conjecture, we can go to the surrounding hamlets and investigate. We might find more clues. Wait. Just when she was about to speak, the young girl's expression stiffened. She suddenly remembered, this Qingmao mountain had just undergone a wolf-tide calamity. Even the villages were heavily damaged, not to mention those hamlets. She knew that using this method to find out the person's identity and information bore little hope. But even if the chances are slim, as long as there is a possibility for success, I must try. It was the young girl's first individual case, and she was full of drive. But half a day passed, and she returned empty-handed. This wolf tide was the largest and most horrifying one yet. So many hamlets had 0 survivors, and this brought great trouble to her investigations. This lead is gone. What are you going to do next? Tai Shui Leng asked at an appropriate time. The young girl gritted her teeth, and in her tone there was stubbornness and tenacity. No, it is not over yet. Father, you said it yourself, the true lead is often hidden more deeply, and as long as we continue to excavate, it will appear. This demonic Gu master's death is strange. Firstly, why did he assault Fang Zheng? What did Fang Zheng do to offend him, causing him to assassinate him with his life, under the situation which was basically an assured death? Moreover, he is a local, but after his death, why did no one recognize him? Hearing her words, Tai Shui Leng was a little surprised. Child, you have truly grown up, the divine investigator sighed, and in his tone there was contentment and gratification. Chapter 175. Chapter 175, Increasing Pressure. You're asking me why that Gu master came to kill me? How would I know? Facing Tai Ruonan's questioning, Fang Zheng blinked innocently. If you have done something, I hope you won't conceal the truth. Because your words, even though they might seem insignificant, can have great help towards solving the case, the young girl said sincerely. Fang Zheng shook his head. I'm very perplexed too. During that period, I was cultivating non-stop, so how could I attract any assassinations? But afterwards, the people around me realized that this demonic Gu master could have been hired by the other 2 clans, to kill a rising star like myself. You also know the rivalry between us and the Bai clan and Shang clan. Especially the Shang clan, they are the greatest suspects as they had once recruited demonic Gu masters into their clan. Shang clan huh? Tai Ruonan became a little discouraged after hearing this, since the Shang clan had already been eliminated by the wolf tide. It seems that this lead is lost as well. Suddenly, murmurs came from outside the room. Quick, look there, isn't that people from the Shang clan? I thought the Shang clan was exterminated, how can there be any envoys coming here? Shang clan envoy's appearance caused a vivid discussion among the village, as people talked with one another. Soon, news came from the clan leader pavilion. Shang clan still has a large number of survivors. They retreated on their own, using a Gu that their ancestor left behind, concealing many people at the same time, cheating death. These scumbags, retreating and avoiding battle, causing the wolf tide to come to us. HMPH, these Shang clan people may look rough and large, but their hearts are devious on the inside. Wanting to borrow the power of the wolf tide to weaken us, they are too despicable. Gu clansmen were furious. The appearance of the Shang clan envoy had caused the Qingmao Mountains political distribution to undergo a complete shift. What was thought to be a 2-sided competition between Bai clan and Gu clan in the end remained a 3-way competition. But one would understand once they thought about it. The Shang clan had survived for hundreds of years without falling, they had their own foundations too. Which clan did not have an ancestor, and a trump card? After the Shang clan envoy left, Gu Bo immediately called for a clan elder meeting. These Shang clan bastards, they really are nothing good. To think they retreated immediately. Can't look down on anyone indeed. Shang clan had always ranked behind our clan and Bai clan, and was the weakest among the forces on Qingmao Mountain. But to think they had such a scheme, we have to be more careful from now on. They wanted to borrow the strength of the wolf tide to eliminate us. They nearly got us this time, if not for that lightning lichen, we might not have lost so many elders. These people deserve to die. If it wasn't for the Tai divine investigator appearing, 2 clan leaders might have died. We cannot let them off simply. Asking for compensation is a must. It was us and Bai clan working together to settle the problem of the lightning lichen. But to ask for compensation, we need to first discuss and formulate a sum. The clan elders spoke one after another, discussing until they had a conclusion. Gu clan would dispatch an envoy towards the Shang clan. They have to observe Shang clan's remaining strength. If Shang clan was strong, they would join forces with the Bai clan. If the Shang clan was weak, they might send people to eliminate them and steal the spirit spring. So then, who would be suitable enough to be dispatched to Shang clan? Gu Bo looked around, asking, which clan elder would shoulder this responsibility. The hall immediately became silent. The clan elders looked around at each other. No one was willing to go. The internal conflict was at its peak now, and it was the most crucial moment for the factions to divide the interest cake. If they went to the Shang clan, their faction would be without a leader and others would make use of the opportunity. When they return, all would have been decided, so by then who would they complain to? This old one feels that, to go to the Shang clan, someone of seniority and experience must go, it has to be someone who can hold his own. Among all of us here, only Elder Mo Chen can take on this role. Gu Yao Ji suddenly said. Gu Mo Chen snorted, rebuking, speaking of qualification, Lord Yao Ji has much more experience than me. Especially in terms of fame, I cannot compete at all, I admit complete defeat. Going to the Shang clan, it seems we will have to trouble Lord Yao Ji after all. Elder Mo Chen is extremely right, I recommend Lord Yao Ji. A clan elder stood up. I feel that Lord Mo Chen is a more suitable candidate. Another elder immediately rebuked. The scene was chaotic. Gu Bo stood at the leader's seat, staring coldly without making a sound. The medicine faction already had intentions of detaching into its own force, no longer under his control. Thus he did not want to help either, and merely observed the scene. This was the first contest between the medicine faction and the Mo faction. The two had their respective political allies, but the current situation was that both leaders made much compromises as well as exchange of benefits. But on a whole, the medicine faction was stronger. Gu Yao Ji's reputation as well as the Kai faction's inclination, caused this situation. Gu Bo stared coldly, noting in his heart the factions that each individual belonged to. As the clan leader, he did not want to see his authority being reduced, and these elders were his competitors. But now he had decided to merely observe, and not strike yet. Mo faction controls too much power and resources, and now that they have lost their inheritor, the medicine faction jumped out hurriedly and tried to attack them. Thus, the most crucial aspect of this contest is all on one person. Gu Bo thought silently, turning his gaze towards Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan had been sitting in his seat, not saying a word. It seems this Fang Yuan isn't very close with the Mo faction, and has not gotten a mutual agreement on interest distribution. Otherwise, he'd have helped out already. Is this my chance? Gu Bo thought. But at this moment, Fang Yuan suddenly stood up from his seat. This action attracted everyone's attention. What he said next was a shocker. Going as an envoy, this is an important matter involving the survival of our clan. I am willing to step up, bearing the responsibility of an envoy, and investigate the Shang clan's current state for our clan. What? Fang Yuan is asking to go. What is the meaning of this? Is he really stupid or acting stupid? Isn't he afraid that when he comes back, all the interests would have been distributed away already? The clan elders all showed expressions of shock. Fang Yuan had his own plans. If he went to the Shang clan, he might be able to find a chance and instigate a conflict among the three clans. Even if he can't, this is a chance to leave. Wait, anyone here can be the envoy but Fang Yuan alone. The door suddenly opened and Tai Ruo Nan walked in, barging her way in. Fang Yuan turned his body to look, and his irises shrunk a little. He saw the Tai family father and daughter walk in, as well as two other people behind them. One looked just like Fang Yuan, it is indeed his brother Gu Fang Zheng, while the other was Gu Zhonghe. What does Tai Divine Investigator have to enlighten us on today? Gu Bo stood up to greet him, his tone slightly unhappy. This was a Gu internal discussion, how could they just barge in like that? Gu clan leader, as well as the other elders. My daughter has already investigated the identity of the demonic Gu master that once assaulted Gu Fang Zheng, Tai Shui Leng spoke. Oh, is that so? That demonic Gu master, wasn't he instigated by the Shang clan? Is there a hidden story behind this? Indeed, this demonic Gu master's true identity is a hunter from a hamlet at the base of the mountain. Only by chance did he manage to become a demonic Gu master, his name is Wang Er. The reason why he assaulted Gu Fang Zheng, is because of his brother Fang Yuan. Saying so, Tai Ruo Nan stared intently at Fang Yuan. Brother, to think you are such a person. Fang Zheng standing at one side clenched his fist, showing rage in his eyes. What do you mean by this, young lady? Gu Mo Chen said in a solemn voice. Don't tell me, Fang Yuan is the one that hired this demonic Gu master to assassinate his own brother Fang Zheng. Gu Yao Ji showed an excited expression. Even Gu Bo was taken aback, as he adjusted his posture on his seat. You're all mistaken, Tai Ruo Nan shook her head. The truth is, Fang Yuan killed innocent people, murdering old man Wang's entire family, causing Wang Er to take revenge. But Wang Er did not know that Fang Yuan had a twin brother, thus he mistook Fang Zheng for Fang Yuan, and assaulted him for revenge. Young lady, everything needs proof, a clan elder spoke. Of course I have evidence. Gu Zhonghe, tell us everything that you know. Tai Ruonan was prepared for this, not panicking. Ji Yu Zhang, he sighed. He looked at the Tai family father and daughter in fear, slowly walking forward and kneeling on the ground, crying, "It is this subordinate's dereliction of duty, I seek clan leader's punishment." Ji Yu Bo's face was grim as water. "Say everything clearly first, do not hide anything from us." Back then, when Fang Yuan killed old man Wang's family, it was under Ji Yu Zhang's area of jurisdiction, and only when he got to the spot did he discover it. Because of the clan evaluation, he suppressed this matter and did not report it. Never would he have thought that today, the matter would be exposed, dug up by Tai Ruonan. "The truth is like this," Zhang he stammered as he spoke, not adding any details into his descriptions, very simple and truthful. At this time and place, he did not dare to lie. Fang Yuan was also a clan elder, so he did not dare to exaggerate facts. "I never would have thought that the truth would be like this. Fang Yuan killed Wang Er's father, and Wang Er came to take revenge, but found Fang Zheng instead. So that's it. Fang Zheng was innocently involved, and blocked the crisis for Fang Yuan." The clan elders whispered among themselves. Fang Zheng's clenched fist was even tighter as rage grew in his heart. He could not help but growl at Fang Yuan, "Brother, how can you take people's lives away so easily? That old man and girl, they were innocent mortals. How could you cut them down?" Facing his brother's accusations, Fang Yuan was indifferent, as if he did not hear it. Ji Yu Fang Zheng was not the main point. Fang Yuan looked at the Tai family father and daughter. Being able to discover the truth in such a short time, they were indeed divine investigators. Regardless of what Ji Yu worms they used, whatever method to make Zhang He submit and reveal his own secret, they had their ways. This ability made Fang Yuan even more certain that the matter of him killing Jia Jinsheng would definitely be found out by the Tai father and daughter duo. It was only a matter of time. After all, this is the Ji Yu world, where Ji Yu can be used to commit crime, and also used to solve crime. Pressure was intensifying. Chapter 176. Chapter 176, The Resolve to Sacrifice. Elder Fang Yuan, is it true that you massacred the whole family of old Wang? Ji Yu Bo asked with a heavy voice from the main seat. All the gazes were on Fang Yuan. The young elder coldly smiled, "It is indeed true." Ji Yu Fang Zheng closed his eyes in grief. He may have killed many lightning wolves, but he had never taken any human lives. And now that he heard Fang Yuan admitting it himself, he suddenly felt that his own big brother had become so unfamiliar and estranged. In this estrangement, he also felt fear towards his brother's cruel methods and anger at the loss of innocent lives. "Fang Yuan, do you not feel any guilt at slaughtering innocents? If you have any difficulties, you can say them out," Tai Ruonan spoke as she frowned. She was someone with extremely righteous character, and hated people like Fang Yuan the most. "So what if I killed them? I don't find it necessary to tell you my story. However, at that time, I didn't know that the missing Wang Er was a demonic Ji-Yu master." It could be said that Fang Zheng was unexpectedly implicated. Fang Yuan spoke honestly. "Big brother, aren't you going to say something to me?" Fang Zheng opened his eyes. The corners of his eyes had become red. "What do you want me to say? Comfort you or to apologize?" "HMPH, little brother, you are too soft," Fang Yuan sneered. "Damn it, big brother, don't think you are extraordinary just by becoming an elder. I will tell you that I already have the qualifications to break through to rank 3. Fang Zheng gritted his teeth, veins popping up in his clenched fists. "Enough." Ji Yu Bo couldn't continue looking at this anymore and shouted, "Fang Zheng, go back, what decorum are you showing by making a fuss here?" His words had other meaning and expressed dissatisfaction. Tai Ruonan couldn't sense it, but divine investigator Tai Shuileng reacted immediately. He stepped forward and cupped his hands. "Ji Yu clan leader and all elders, it is indeed improper for my daughter to charge in and rush into the Lord's discussion hall. This one apologizes for offending everyone." The elders promptly stood up and kept on saying Tai Shuileng was too kind. Ji Yu Bo's expression also relaxed. Tai Shuileng continued, "Since little brother Fang Yuan is involved in Jia Jinsheng's case and is also a suspect, I hope he remains at the village and will not leave to the other village." Ji Yu Bo massaged his temples and sighed, "Our Ji Yu clan really hopes we can provide a suitable explanation to Lord Jia Fu. Since Divine Investigator is also requesting, I will have to request Elder Fang Yuan to not leave before you are free of suspicions. I hope you can understand." Ji Yu Bo looked at Fang Yuan, his expression sincere. But his gaze, however, held deep meanings. Fang Yuan might have killed the whole of old Wang's family, but they were only mortals. How could it be a crime for a GU master to kill these mortals? Especially if this GU master was an elder of the clan. Thus, there was no punishment. Yes. Fang Yuan glanced at GU Yubo and replied expressionlessly. Damn it, it's like this again. Tai Ruo Nan punched a tree, causing the leaves to scatter. She was very indignant as she said with clenched teeth, it is clearly a murder, but they are turning a blind eye to it and not giving a damn. Father, are the mortals not humans? Why do GU masters feel that they have the rights to kill the mortals? Tai Shui Lang was silent like a sculpture. The weather was somewhat gloomy, and the wind blew and tree leaves rustled. Tai Ruo Nan suddenly lowered her head, her expression was down. I am sorry, father. She apologized, I didn't listen to your advice, and used the intuition GU. Sigh. Divine Investigator let out a long sigh and looked at his daughter with a profound gaze. Child, you have such hatred for evil and is full of righteousness, just like me when I was young. I am happy but also worried. Why are you worried? Your ideals are much bigger than mine was at that time. When I was young, my ambition was to capture all the criminals and cram up the demon suppression tower. But as for you, you want to make everyone equal, treating both GU masters and the mortals equally, causing law and order to be established in the whole world. Such ambitions and ideals are too big and also very heavy. Tai Shui Lang's words were filled with experience. But father, this so-called law, fairness and justice. If we don't treat everyone equally, what meaning do they have? If the young don't have ambitious dreams, then how could they be considered young? I believe it's all a matter of our own efforts. As long as I give my best, it might not necessarily be impossible to achieve. Tai Ruo Nan spoke excitedly, her two eyes filled with hopes for the future. Tai Shui Lang was silent for a good while. There will be a day when you will understand. But, this is good too, young people should walk their paths by themselves. Setbacks will make you mature. Father won't interfere anymore. I only hope you can live the life you want. He then took out a letter and gave it to Tai Ruo Nan. This is. Tai Ruo Nan tore open the letter and was immediately overjoyed. This letter was from Jia Fu and it recorded every information regarding Jia Jinsheng's case, including how Fang Yuan obtained the liquor worm by rock gambling, how the bamboo gentleman was used to interrogate Fang Yuan, and even Fang Yuan's bidding prices at the second caravan visit where he showed business talent and received Jia Fu's recruitment offer. Tai Ruo Nan reread the contents of Fang Yuan's bidding prices multiple times, her gaze turned brighter and brighter. This Fang Yuan is not only fierce in his methods, but also has cruel nature and is even able to scheme deeply. My intuition tells me he is very suspicious. If he is really the killer, then he should be somewhat afraid. But the bamboo gentleman showed no changes to his lies. How did he do it? Tai Ruo Nan muttered to herself. What are you preparing to do next? Tai Shui Lang asked. It has been a long time since Jia Jinsheng's death. Everything is fishy and filled with mysteries. Till now, his corpse has not been found and even the place of his death hasn't been deduced. This case is too clean, giving me no clues, except that Fang Yuan is the biggest suspect. Although the clues from Wang Er has been broken, there are no evidences to prove he is the killer. However, because there are no other clues, I can only rely on my intuition to investigate this Fang Yuan. Tai Ruo Nan enthusiastically replied. You feel that Fang Yuan is suspicious? Tai Shui Lang asked. Extremely suspicious. Tai Ruo Nan immediately said, this Fang Yuan is clearly only AC grade aptitude, but why is his cultivation speed faster than Fang Zheng's? One could say he had the help from the liquor worm and the relic GU, but this speed is still very fast. GU clan might not have sensed anything wrong, but this is a case of, those closely involved can't see as clearly as those outside. This is the first suspicious point. Besides this, there is another suspicious point, his luck. He rock gambled for the first time in his life and bought 6 purple gold stones, but was able to get 2 live GU, a mudskin toad and a liquor worm. Isn't this luck way too much? Tai Shui Lang nodded. Yes, continue. This Fang Yuan looks ordinary, but if we look into him, we will find that the mysteries surrounding him are like the thick fog covering the mountain. Many things that were inadvertently revealed makes one ponder. For instance, his rock dissecting technique. He actually used the moonlight GU to dissect rocks and did it without damaging the core. Such delicate control is really unimaginable for a student. Wait. Tai Ruo Nan paused. She had discovered something as her eyes let out bright and sharp light. Her gaze landed on a line of words in the letter, and the more she looked at, the more her gaze brightened. I found it. This Fang Yuan has a huge problem. After a long while, she suddenly raised her head and excitedly spoke. The fragrance of the tea in the cup rose with the steam and spread in the study room. Fang Yuan held the teacup, then blew the floating tea leaves and drank the hot tea. After that, he leisurely let out some turbid air. Upon seeing the leisurely attitude of Fang Yuan, Mo Chen did his best to endure and felt the veins in his forehead bulging. Previously, Fang Yuan had asked for a huge price and he had angrily chased the latter out of his house. But today, he had no choice but to re-invite Fang Yuan. All this was simply because circumstances are more powerful than men. Yao faction had been pressuring him from everywhere and the matter regarding his drop to rank 2 was going to be revealed sooner or later. Mo faction was in imminent danger, it urgently needed an elder to serve as son-in-law and stabilize the situation. This bastard is too vile, making such sky-high demands. Does he really think my Mo faction is bathing in gold? Mo Chen cursed inwardly, while outwardly putting on a warm smile and speaking in a negotiating voice. Elder Fang Yuan, your price is too much, it greatly exceeds what my Mo faction can support. Can you decrease it? Fang Yuan glanced at Mo Chen. This old man who knew when to give and take was worthy of respect. In fact, his current situation was also becoming messed up. The Tai father and daughter were forcing him into a corner. Once it was found out that he killed Jia Jinsheng, clan would definitely hand him over to appease the Jia family's anger and simultaneously be able to continue trading with the Jia family caravan every year. It was almost the crucial moment now, so Fang Yuan softened his tone, then we will decrease it by 30%. But there is a condition, you need to show me your sincerity by paying 40,000 primeval stones in advance. Also you must hand over a pig iron GU and an afterlife grass GU. Mo Chen couldn't help but massage his brows when he heard this. He replied in a sunken voice, pig iron GU will be handed to you, but my Mo faction's warehouse doesn't have any afterlife grass GU. We can't also give the 40,000 primeval stones at once, they will be given to you in installments. Fang Yuan knew this old fox wasn't speaking the truth, but he was very clear that being too overbearing could instead produce the opposite result. That's okay, I will wait for you to send them first, then we can talk about marriage. Before that, I can't guarantee my allegiance. Fang Yuan left these words before walking away. The study room was silent once more. A long while later, Mo Chen suddenly said, you can come out. A hidden door was pushed open and a young girl walked out. There were tear stains on her face and her eyes were red from the crying. Grandpa, she paid her respects, she was Mo Yan. Mo Chen sighed, you are also clear on the family's situation. Mo Yan, our family needs your sacrifice, can you understand? Yes, the young girl sobbed and lowered her head. No matter which world, there is no such thing as a free lunch. Even Fang Yuan contributed a lot of strength to the clan as a clan elder. The only difference is that the amount one pays or obtains differs from person to person. Even those kids with golden spoons also cannot freely enjoy the privileges. By receiving the family's nurturing, they needed to have the resolve to sacrifice. And this resolve was already present in Mo Yan. She didn't have the least bit of feelings for Fang Yuan, even feeling hatred and disgust towards the latter. But she knew, she had to marry him for the sake of her family, becoming his wife. Chapter 177. Chapter 177, Big Brother, how can you do this to me? Living Steel GU is a rank 2 GU, looking like a charcoal briquette, fist-sized and black all over. On the surface, there were numerous holes. Fang Yuan injected his primeval essence and this living steel GU started floating, rotating on its own, black smoke pouring out from the holes on it. Chainsaw golden centipede coiled around Fang Yuan's leg, its dark gold-colored armor full of injuries, the 2 rows of razors on its sides tattered and damaged. But when the steel smoke came over and covered these wounds, they gradually healed. The black smoky steel essence continued to be used, as the 2 rows of razors on the chainsaw golden centipede could be seen growing at an observable rate. Healing GU varied in a few types. There were some that healed GU masters, some that specialized in certain injuries, and those that healed GU worms. To the chainsaw golden centipede, the living steel GU is its healing GU worm. An hour later, the living steel GU became smaller and smaller. It went from a fist-sized charcoal to a pearl size, eventually vanishing. It was an expenditure type GU, but its sacrifice brought about the recovery of the chainsaw golden centipede. At this point, the chainsaw golden centipede was good as new. Its 2 rows of razors were shiny as new, glowing with a sharp and cold flash. On its dark gold exoskeleton, the injuries were mostly healed, and only 5 to 6 light scars remained. But this was nothing to worry about. In about a few weeks, these scars would vanish through the natural recovery of the centipede. However, if not for the living steel GU and just relying solely on the chainsaw golden centipede, it would take at least half a year for the razors to fully grow back. The chainsaw golden centipede was more strong than it was flexible. Although it used little primeval essence and had great attacking power, its weakness was a lack in the healing aspect. All living beings are equal. In this world there is no all-rounded GU, there has to be weakness and advantages. Even rank 6 or 7 GU and above followed this natural law. This way, the chainsaw golden centipede's battle strength is completely recovered. Feng Yuan stretched out his hand, touching the cold exoskeleton of the chainsaw golden centipede, his face slightly pale. On his pale face, cold sweat was forming. Damn it, it had to come at this time. Feng Yuan gritted his teeth, his left hand subconsciously pressing his stomach. His mind entered his aperture, only to see that the white-silver primeval sea was still, the entire aperture filled with an oppressed feeling. All the other GU had been suppressed to one side. Only above the sea, within the aperture, the spring-autumn cicada was glowing with a yellow and green luster. At this time, the spring-autumn cicada not only had both wings recovered, but its main body also recovered much of its energy. Just like an object falling from the sky, the closer it gets to the ground the faster it falls, and the spring-autumn cicada's recovery rate was the same. After the initial difficult period, as time passed, its recovery speed accelerated. Thus, the problem came. The spring-autumn cicada was rank 6, while Feng Yuan was only a rank 3 GU master. His aperture was gradually unable to hold the spring-autumn cicada. Back then, when the spring-autumn cicada was weak, the burden on the aperture was not as huge. But now that the spring-autumn cicada gradually recovered, regaining its rank 6 ability, it caused this tiny temple of Feng Yuan's to be unable to hold this high god. If this goes on, I might even die from the spring-autumn cicada before the Tai family father and daughter find out the truth. Truly, when your roof has a hole it just has to rain non-stop for days. The best solution was to raise his own cultivation level. When he gets to rank 6, the aperture will have the capacity to store the spring-autumn cicada again. But this method takes too long. In his previous 500 years of life, he also used more than 400 years to attain rank 6. He was now a C-grade talent with rank 3 cultivation. To cultivate to rank 6, he had a severe lack of time. Other than that, there was another way to solve the problem. It was to take the spring-autumn cicada out of his aperture and raise it outside his body. But that act had great disadvantages. Firstly, the spring-autumn cicada was not a battle-type GU, so it could not protect itself. Keeping it in the aperture was safer. Secondly, when a rank 6 GU appears, it would interfere with natural laws and cause a mirage at the location it is at. Feng Yuan was now at the village where there were many people, and the Tai family father and daughter was onto him as well. Once this spring-autumn cicada leaves his body, everyone would find out. Therefore, he could only feel troubled. The spring-autumn cicada's recovery is getting faster. At this rate, I don't have much time. Once I get the 40,000 primeval stones from Gu Mo Chen, I'll take the heavenly essence treasure lotus and leave this place. As for the Tai family father and daughter, I can resolve it at a later time. Feng Yuan sighed. Tai family father and daughter's matter was something that he could only put off and delay. But now, the spring-autumn cicada was not giving him time to stall. He was at his wit's end. As time urged him, wasting every minute and second is reducing his lifespan. A GU master being killed by their own GU worm was not uncommon. Many GU masters who forcefully activate their GU get a backlash from their GU worm's power and lose their life. Such incidents were everywhere. GU Yu Qing Shu was the prime example, buried not far away. 6 purple gold stones, each fist-sized. With Feng Yuan's cultivation, he actually opened 5 on the spot. How could he have so much primeval essence at that time? Tai Ruonan stared at the information on the letter, laughing smugly. Tai Shuileng nodded. You finally found this suspicious point. Indeed, only when you are meticulous can you discover what normal people cannot see. But what can you derive from this suspicious point? Tai Ruonan closed her eyes, activating the intuition GU secretly. In the darkness, she felt an enlightenment in her mind, and she opened her eyes abruptly. Instinct tells me, Feng Yuan must have had the liquor worm from long ago. But instincts are sometimes wrong, they cannot represent truth, Tai Shuileng reminded. Isn't it easy to get evidence? As long as he has the liquor worm, he has to feed it. If he feeds it, there has to be evidence. Tai Ruonan's mouth curled into an arc. Let's go. We'll find Gu Feng Zheng, Feng Yuan's brother once again. As the little brother, he has to be the most familiar with Feng Yuan. You're asking about Big Brother's actions back then? Fang Zheng showed a complicated expression. He sighed, recalling, back then, Big Brother was a very outstanding individual. Since young he constantly displayed his talent, making many poems, causing the entire village to put their attention on him. Back then, I admired him and held him in awe. In my heart, he was like a tall mountain that I couldn't climb. Maybe because he was at such a high point, when he tumbled down, the despair was greater. Afterwards, during the awakening ceremony, he was tested to have only C-grade talent, thus he became discouraged for a long time, sleeping in class and not returning to the hostel at night, buying wine and getting drunk all the time. From that moment on, I realized, Big Brother was also human. Wait, you said, buy wine? Tai Ruo Nan heard this crucial phrase and caught onto it, squinting. Yes, for a period of time, he was dead drunk. Sigh, maybe reality was too harsh. He only had C-grade talent, but his brother turned out to be A-grade, and he could not accept the truth. Actually, if I was in his shoes, I would understand his feelings and emotions as well, Fang Zheng said. Wait, let me ask you, from that moment on, Fang Yuan would buy wine to drink every few days? Tai Ruo Nan asked again. Yes, from that moment on, brother fell in love with alcohol, spending a lot of money for wine. For a time, he was in love with the bamboo wine, which is our clan's speciality, a very expensive wine. He snatched primeval stones from his classmates in order to buy wine to drink. This is an overbearing act, thus not a single student liked him. Why, is there a problem? Finally, Fang Zheng asked in confusion. There's a huge problem. I suspect that your brother's liquor worm wasn't obtained from the gambling rocks, but he had it long ago. Your brother's drunkard act was merely a performance. His real motive was to conceal the fact that he had the liquor worm, and was feeding it, Tai Ruo Nan replied solemnly. What? Fang Zheng, hearing so, jumped from his seat in shock. This was shocking information. What you just said made me even more suspicious. Where did your brother buy wine normally? I need to investigate. Tai Ruo Nan stood up as well. She was racing against time, moving quickly to solve the case. In our entire village, there is only one place selling bamboo wine, it is that Seoul Inn. Then I'll take my leave. Tai Ruo Nan turned around and left. Wait, I'll go with your guys. Fang Zheng hesitated, chasing after them. An hour later, Tai Ruo Nan walked on the stone pavement, concluding, earlier the innkeeper already told me everything, and the situation is clear as day. Fang Yuan buying so much wine, his true motive is to feed the liquor worm. After that, he purposely went to gamble rocks, and that is to expose the liquor worm logically in front of everyone. All this is according to his plans. On one side, Fang Zheng appeared a little distraught, his face looking a little lifeless. He did not expect that the truth was really like this. Long ago, he had once looked down on Fang Yuan, thinking he was a loser, giving up on himself. From that moment on, he felt that the tall mountain was no longer so hard to scale. But the truth was, everything was Fang Yuan's disguise, his performance, his scheme. The surrounding people were played by him like fools, believing his lies. Even Fang Zheng was no exception. Looking at it now, his disdain and despise towards his big brother back then, was like a giant mockery of a joke. Big brother, in your heart, what place do I hold? In those eyes of yours that pretended to be drunk, was I a huge joke? Big brother, you are such a scheming fox, in your heart, was I childish enough for you to sneer at? Fang Zheng screamed in his heart. He was humiliated, he was furious. He felt that he was played by Fang Yuan. From the start, he was a clown putting on a childish and laughable act. He felt the disdain Fang Yuan felt towards him. Big brother, how can you treat me like this? If not for Lady Tai, I would still be in the dark. How long do you intend to lie to me, and to the clan? You killed the innocent, taking lives as you wish. Deception and lies, indifferent and inhumane, is that the real you? Chapter 178. Chapter 178. Black, White, Gray. Long ago, in Fang Zheng's heart, Fang Yuan was like a tall mountain, so tall he could never scale. Long ago, Fang Zheng thought that the shadow of this tall mountain would enshroud him his entire life. But life gave him an unexpected twist. Fang Yuan, being dispirited, let Fang Zheng see his weakness. The tall mountain that he resembled, instantly collapsed. And yet, this was actually all Big Brother's performance, an act. The collapsed mountain in his heart became enshrouded in a layer of mystery. Big Brother, exactly what kind of person are you? Fang Zheng realized at this moment that he knew nothing about this blood-related brother of his. Fang Yuan's heart was full of scheming, he had too deep of a shrewdness. With his acting skills and the indifference towards taking human lives, Fang Zheng felt infinitely distant towards him. Along with this distant feeling, there was also a feeling of fear that Fang Zheng did not want to recognize. This goddamn feeling was back, creeping into his heart. He tried his best to shrug off this feeling of fear, causing him to subconsciously follow after Tai Ruonan's footsteps. Lady Tai, thanks for letting me find out the truth and seeing my brother's true side. Helping you is akin to helping myself, so just ask away, I will tell you everything I know, Fang Zheng said earnestly. Tai Ruonan nodded, but then shook her head quickly. What I need to know, I already understand now. The problem now is, where did Fang Yuan get that liquor worm from? You were right, this matter is suspicious. During Big Brother's situation back then, he had not inherited our parents' assets, and at the same time was only AC grade, beginning his cultivation. Where did he get the liquor worm from? Fang Zheng frowned. In this situation, there's only two causes. One is outside help, and the other is an inheritance legacy. But who would invest in AC grade talent? If it is an inheritance, which is it? Thinking of this, Tai Ruonan stopped in her footsteps. Inheritance legacy, inheritance legacy. In her mind, this phrase kept appearing. She fell into deep thought. If it was an inheritance legacy, everything would fall into place. Firstly, the liquor worm's origin can be explained. Secondly, the reason for killing Jia Jinsheng is also established. Tai Ruonan thought excitedly. What perplexed her the entire time was the killer's motive. There has to be a reason to kill. Fang Yuan showed the liquor worm, and Jia Jinsheng wanted to buy it. But the value of the liquor worm is too low to establish a motive to kill. But what if Jia Jinsheng, who refused to give up, adamantly wants to buy the liquor worm from Fang Yuan, thus following him all the way and discovering an inheritance legacy ground? What would Fang Yuan do? Hey. Tai Ruonan laughed. Fang Zheng showed a perplexed gaze. Tai Ruonan looked back. I want to inspect the Jiuyu clan's history records. Fang Zheng shook his head, waving his hand. The history is kept in the clan's forbidden grounds, how can an outsider inspect it? Then can you get in? Fang Zheng shook his head, only clan elders. Is that so? Then what can we do now? Tai Ruonan frowned. Lady Tai, maybe I can help. From the shadows, a crippled old woman walked out. It was none other than Jiuyu Yaoji. She was still the medicine faction family head, but when she stepped down from the medicine hall elder's position and was replaced by Jiuyu Kaizhong, also losing an arm, her former authority had almost fully vanished. But the pursuit of authority was already ingrained in her soul. She understood deeply that collaborating with Jiuyu Kaizhong was only a temporary solution. The only way was to devour the Mo faction. Only then would she have the ability to take back her medicine hall elder's position. To absorb the Mo faction, all she had to do was to eliminate their hope. And this hope was naturally Fang Yuan. Divine Investigator Tai, to speak the truth, I've been observing both of you for some time. Come with me, I'll bring you into the clan's forbidden area. Normally that place would be heavily guarded. But coincidentally, right now I am in charge of protecting the forbidden grounds. Jiuyu Yaoji laughed sinisterly. She obviously hoped to harm Fang Yuan indirectly, but if he was innocent, she could definitely slander him using her wicked methods. In the underground tunnel inside a hidden room, Tai Ruonan looked at the Jiuyu clan's historical records. From the first generation onwards, after Jiuyu clan was built until its golden age, and then its decline, the records contained the information for the last few hundred years. All events, big and small, were recorded in detail. This first-generation clan leader has a mysterious origin, creating the Jiuyu village single-handedly. He's most likely a demonic cultivator. Tai Ruonan flipped the first few pages, saying something shocking. That's nothing much. Many demonic cultivators, after getting sick of roaming, would choose to spread their bloodline and establish a clan. A few hundred years later, they would be wiped off their demonic origins, and the descendants would become righteous cultivators. Such situations are actually very common, it is nothing strange. Beside her, Tai Shuileng said. Then all his previous wrongdoings, will it all be spared like that? Tai Ruonan had an indignant expression. These demonic cultivators caused all those crimes, but when the time is ripe and they feel tired, they would settle down and enjoy their old age. Isn't this too good for them? Tai Shuileng sighed deeply. Ruonan. When I was young, I felt like you too, thinking that this world is in black and white. But after you see more of the world, you will find out that this world is actually gray. Many times can black turn to white, and white can turn to black. Some white can also be more devious than black, and even bear greater sins. And demonic cultivators also have their own grievances. Righteous GU masters control the cultivating resources, while demonic GU masters are all alone, only able to rely on their extreme methods. Those like the first-generation clan leader who are able to change their ways, that is the best solution. At least he will no longer cause harm to others. Turning from black to white, he can contribute his strength towards the righteous path. Tai Shui Leng explained and consoled, but the young girl Tai Ruo Nan did not seem to be convinced. She shook her head, saying adamantly, "Father, it is not right for you to sympathize with demonic GU masters. White is white, black is black. They should be punished for making a mistake. Breaking the law, they should face judgment. If not, where would justice lie, where would fairness lie, where would the law stand? This is not sympathy. Anywhere where there's people, there are interests involved. Places that involves interests will have crime. As long as people exist, crime would never end. My child, you will find out eventually, a person's strength is too insignificant." Tai Shui Leng's voice was experienced and wise, but also sorrowful. "Never mind. To the current you, it is still too early to say such things, you should concentrate on solving the case." "Yes, father," Tai Ruo Nan pouted, not agreeing with Tai Shui Leng's pessimistic outlook. When people are young, they tend to think they can change the world. But after they grow up, they will eventually find out that a person being able to retain their sense of self, and not being changed by the world is already a great success. As the girl continued to flip, her hand suddenly stopped. Fourth-generation clan leader Flower Wine Monk. Li Liquor Worm. Her eyes shone. Electric currents flowed as the sharp teeth edges cut like blades, shining with a cold light. A frenzy lightning wolf pounced towards Bai Ningbing, its wolf claw drawing a shadow in the air. Bai Ningbing did not have any movements. As the frenzy lightning wolf's claw became larger in his eyes, he did not have any inclination to dodge. Suddenly, a white rainbow shot out from his aperture. The light rainbow burst, and white light shot down like rain. In the light rain, the elegant white snake appeared, its long whiskers bringing about a fairy-like atmosphere. Towards this rank 5 snake GU, the arrogant frenzy lightning wolf immediately withered, wanting to retreat. But the white form immortal snake opened its mouth and shot out a cloud smoke. The white smoke looked slow, but quickly enveloped the lightning wolf. The frenzy lightning wolf's vision was obscured by the smoke, and it quickly moved back. But no matter how it moved, the white smoke followed it like a shadow, always engulfing its surroundings and not giving it any chance to escape. White form immortal snake's ability was this lump of smoke. After being enshrouded, one cannot tell their directions, as their vision is dyed in a white smoke. Wild beasts like lightning wolves relied on their strong vision and had weak hearing. The frenzy lightning wolf was the same, thus its most useful sensory organ being blinded caused it to howl in panic. In its struggle, it broke many trees and mountain rocks as it became more agitated. Howl! It suddenly opened its mouth and shot out a blue thunderbolt. The thunderbolt shot towards Bai Ningbing, but he had no plans to dodge. Crack! The thunderbolt hit Bai Ningbing on the chest, penetrating it. Bai Ningbing lowered his head and saw the huge hole that the thunderbolt had made, allowing him to see through to the back. But quickly, the huge hole began to freeze. Layers of white ice covered the injury and the ice slowly melted, turning into flesh. This is the Northern Dark Ice Soul Physique's true strength. I am ice, and ice is me. Fatal injuries to ordinary GU masters can be recovered in just a few seconds for me, Bai Ningbing thought, as he slowly raised his right arm. His right arm was ordinary broken, but relying on the Northern Dark Ice Soul Physique, it had already recovered fully. The white form immortal snake GU also sensed the Northern Dark Ice Soul Physique, thus it entered my aperture. The Northern Dark Ice Soul Physique can attract water-type GU worms to join me. Such great strength, yet so brittle. Bai Ningbing sighed at the heavens. These days, he did not suppress his cultivation. The Northern Dark Ice Soul Physique was getting stronger, but he felt that death was approaching him even faster. Great Immortal hasn't done anything. At this time, Bai clan leader came over, asking in concern. Bai Ningbing shook his head. This snake GU does not recognize me, it is merely attracted by my Northern Dark Ice Soul Physique and moved from the clan's spirit spring into my aperture. Only when I am in mortal danger and in a death situation would it come out and protect me. But the white form immortal snake was not refined by Bai Ningbing, thus this protection also had its limits. Like earlier, the frenzy lightning wolf's thunderbolt was too fast, and the white form immortal snake could not react in time, thus Bai Ningbing was hit head-on. After all, the white form immortal snake was not a defensive GU. In Fang Yuan's previous life, Zhang Fan and the river-swallowing toad was the same. Although Zhang Fan had its assistance, he was still assassinated by a GU master. Bai clan leader sighed. He felt intense regret and pity towards this, yet there was nothing he could do. He had already done what he could. Right, the three clans' negotiation results is out. Shang clan preserved more than half of their strength, we cannot underestimate them. Eventually the three clans came to a decision that there shall be a three-clan tournament. And the compensation will be decided by the results of the competition. Only GU masters aged 30 and below can enter the tournament. I understand. Bai Ningbing nodded. I can already sense it, my life is coming to an end. Having a competition at the end, I am really happy. Thank you, Lord Clan Elder. No, this is also for the sake of the clan. Bai clan leader's expression was embarrassed. It was his suggestion in the first place, and the biggest reason for it was to squeeze out the last remaining value that Bai Ningbing possessed. But Bai Ningbing's gratitude came from the bottom of his heart. The white form immortal snake was unmoved, meaning that he was not fated to receive the first-generation ancestors' inheritance. But life and death are bound to occur, what fear could he have? Bai Ningbing had already found his path, he no longer feared. There was only one lingering battle that he could not let go of. Fang Yuan, the three-clan tournament, will you attend it? Don't disappoint me, because right now, I am really strong. Chapter 179. Chapter 179, History is written by men. The flower wine monk begged for mercy on his knees. The fourth clan head was merciful and kind, intending to spare his life. Yet the flower wink monk suddenly launched a sneak attack, and the clan head flew into a rage, killing the flower wine monk on the spot. However, due to the heavy injuries from the sneak attack, he passed away not long after. Alas, demonic path members were indeed treacherous and unworthy of kindness. However, as Tai Ruo Nan read through this content, her eyes gradually dimmed down. What a pity, this flower wine monk died on the spot and couldn't leave behind an inheritance. If he could leave an inheritance, that would be perfect to explain everything, the young girl sighed inwardly. Yet she didn't give up and continued to flip through the GUU clan records, until the time was up and GUU Yaoji rushed them out. Fang Zheng welcomed the Tai father and daughter outside of the clan pavilion. Were there any discoveries? Tai Shuileng was silent whereas Tai Ruo Nan gave a bitter smile and shook her head. Fang Zheng continued, I just thought of something which might be of help. Big Brother and Kai faction worked quite closely, and the Kai faction's elder GUU Kai Lian had once defended him in front of everyone. Lady Tai, do you think this liquor worm could have been secretly handed over by Elder Kai Lian to my big brother? Kai faction, Tai Ruo Nan frowned. Yes, Kai and Mo faction were the most influential factions of our GUU clan before the wolf tide, Fang Zheng explained. How was Fang Yuan involved with Kai faction? Tai Ruo Nan reflected on this. She started feeling a headache. This was her first case and she had been full of confidence at first, but when she actually started doing it, she felt that it was filled with difficulties. When she had seen her father solving the cases, it was as if success was guaranteed, all the mysteries were solved with methodical and orderly arrangement. However, she realized how truly difficult it was to solve a case when it was her turn. There seemed to be no trails sometimes, whereas all kinds of weird clues seemed to emerge, causing Tai Ruo Nan to be at wit's end. It was like she was covered in a dense fog and she didn't know how close or far she was from the truth. Would this clue regarding Kai faction be of any use? Tai Ruo Nan couldn't help but feel at a loss, and she subconsciously looked at her father. Father should have already discovered some clues, right? At this moment, the admiration in the young girl towards her father deepened further. If it was my father, this case should have already been solved. I am still far away from father's level. But even if I fail, as long as father is here, the truth will come out and the killer will be punished. Tai Ruo Nan felt ashamed but also a sense of pride. With Tai Shuileng here, she had no worries that the criminal could get away. But the young girl quickly shook her head, getting angry. The anger was towards herself. Ruo Nan, you are worthless. Didn't you think of surpassing father? How can you surpass him if you have the mentality of always relying on him? Ruo Nan, cheer up, you can do it. The young girl pursed her lips, inwardly encouraging herself. Her spirit boiled up again. She decided to overthrow her previous conjectures and start over. If Fang Yuan didn't obtain the liquor worm from an inheritance and got it from other people, then this Kai faction would be the biggest suspect. However, why would Kai faction take notice of AC grade aptitude ordinary student and secretly give him the liquor worm? What does Fang Yuan have that Kai faction felt it worthy to invest in him? Because he is Fang Zheng's brother? No, that is almost negligible. Wait a second, it might not be Kai faction taking the initiative to invest in him. There is another possibility, and that is because Fang Yuan blackmailed them. If it is truly so, what did Fang Yuan have on them to make them hold their nose and obediently compromise with a student that had yet to be a GU master? Tai Ruonan racked her brains and an answer seemed to gradually emerge in her mind. But this answer was blurry like the light behind a paper window. Tai Ruonan could feel its existence but she couldn't grasp and understand it. Father. The young girl suddenly raised her head and looked at Tai Shuileng. I would like to borrow the cactus pointer. Tai Shuileng replied in a relaxed voice, the suggestion given by cactus pointer is based upon the information the user has. It only speculates on behalf of you and might not be accurate. Are you sure you want to use it? The young girl nodded. Cactus pointer was a seed. Tai Ruonan buried it in the ground then used her palm to press on the soil, transferring her white-silver primeval essence to it. After several breaths, she withdrew her hand. Soon, they could see the soil loosening up, and a young sprout grew out of it. The newborn sprout was a translucent green, and looked very fragile. It quickly grew, becoming bigger and bigger, and its color changed from fragile greenish yellow to verdant green, then finally to dark green. Its appearance was similar to a cactus. It had thick flesh, the surface covered with sharp black thorns and was lush green all over. Within moments, a flower bud appeared on its top part. The white flower bud gradually grew, becoming charming and delicate. The main body of the cactus, however, was shrinking as if its moisture was being squeezed out. Tai Ruonan stretched her fingers and gently plucked this flower bud. The moment the flower bud was taken out, the cactus started turning gray and completely died after a few seconds. The cactus pointer was a rank 3 consumable GU. Tai Ruonan carefully opened the flower bud. The flower bud, however, was not wrapped up with layers of petals, instead appearing similar to a ball of paper. When Tai Ruonan completely opened it, it formed into a neat and square white paper. There were only one word written on the white paper, aptitude. This word would mean nothing to others and might even sound ridiculous. But to Tai Ruonan, it was a very important tip. The cactus pointer was used just like this, it gave insights to the GU masters who had racked their brains but couldn't advance forward. It pierced the paper window and let the GU masters see the light. Right, it is aptitude. Tai Ruonan shouted. She immediately took out the letter which recorded all the intels collected by Jia Fu. There was something written in this intel which described the details on when and at what price GU Kai Lian had bought the cleansing water GU. It's this. I only briefed through this earlier and neglected it, not considering the underlying meaning. But the cactus pointer speculated on my behalf and gave me the answer. This cleansing water GU only has one use and that is to cleanse the foreign primeval essence auras from the aperture. Why did GU Kai Lian need it? This situation is too common and happens a lot in many clans. He should have bought this for Kai faction's inheritor. Kai faction's inheritor should have a bad aptitude, so GU Kai Lian poured his primeval essence to raise the former's cultivation. The cleansing water GU is necessary to remove any after effects from this action. By some chance, Fang Yuan found this secret and used it to blackmail Kai faction, thus forcing them to compromise and give him the liquor worm. Tai Ruonan kept on mumbling out her conjecture. Lady Tai, you are amazing. You could deduce so many things with just this word. But GU Kai Cheng clearly has B-grade aptitude, Fang Zheng said. B-grade aptitude? Does that mean it can't be fake? It is very simple to prove this. We only need to examine Kai Cheng's aperture and the truth will be out. Tai Ruonan's gaze was burning as her mouth slightly curved upwards. That's inappropriate. Tai Shuileng, however, shook his head disapprovingly. If this truth was found out, it would be a great blow to Kai faction, leading to turmoil among the GU village's higher-ups and causing political conflicts. Tai Shuileng said, we came here to solve a case and not to wreak havoc. In the end, we are outsiders and unless it is absolutely necessary, we can't meddle in other clans' politics. Tai Ruonan nodded. Father is right. Besides this, there are also other ways to prove it. I remember that clans use a photo-audio GU to record every important sacrificial ritual. This is a traditional practice and I believe GU clan isn't an exception. I want to refer to the awakening ceremony's image. Divine Investigator Tai, you have constantly been on the move for so many days and have gone through a lot of trouble to solve the case, please come have tea. As for the image you want to look into, it is stored in the secret room inside the underground cave which is among the clan's restricted areas. It would be inconvenient to let you two enter, but I have already sent someone to get it. It will be here in a short while, GU Bo spoke with a smile. I have troubled the clan leader, Tai Shuileng politely said. Tai Ruonan and Ji Yu Fang Zheng were standing on the side. Divine Investigator Tai, if I may be so bold to ask a favor. Ji Yu Bo suddenly said. Tai Shui Lang, oh, please speak, clan leader. This is our Qingmao Mountain's internal affair. My clan, Bai clan and Shang clan have always been in a deadlock, but that changed due to the wolf tide. Shang village evaded the wolf tide with malicious intentions and tried to take advantage of the wolf tide to weaken the other two clans. The negotiation earlier for compensation with them ended up in nothing. Hence, our three clans decided to hold a three clans tournament. Only GU masters at age 30 or below can participate in it, and it will decide the future strength of each clan. Upon saying this, GU Bo sighed. Actually, I have already felt that something was strange with Fang Yuan long ago, but couldn't look into it properly because of the wolf tide. If he really is the killer, my clan absolutely won't shield him. But I hope Divine Investigator Tai can delay this for a few days, since the three clans competition is hosted on the day after tomorrow. Fang Yuan killed old Wang's whole family, but they were just mortals and it was not worth investigating. What if he killed them? It wasn't a big deal. However, if he really killed Jia Jin Sheng, then that would change everything. If GU clan still protected Fang Yuan, that would mean becoming enemies with Jia family and losing the chance to trade with Jia family caravan again. It would even result in Jia family's retaliation. Organizations protected their inner members, but if benefits were endangered, the organization could easily give up one or two members for the greater good. The organization's earliest form came from ancient times. Human clans assembled together for their survival, borrowing each other's strength to gather more food and dividing up their work to hunt more successfully. Any organization's essence was obtaining maximum benefits. If one or two members obstructed the organization's path to benefits, then sacrificing them was a natural thing. Thus, even if there were very few elders in GU clan right now, if there came a time when they had to abandon Fang Yuan, the clan leader would have no hesitation. However, the day after tomorrow was the three clans competition. The results of this competition would decide their future for the next few years as well as the benefit allocation of Qingmao Mountain. As a rank 3 GU master, Fang Yuan was a vital fighting force for the GU clan. Just like Bai clan's clan leader, GU Bo also wanted to squeeze out Fang Yuan's maximum worth. Chapter 180. Chapter 180. Watching the awakening ceremony again. It's about time, I can't wait any longer. As the night fell, Fang Yuan opened his eyes in a dark room. He already took off his GU master uniform and was now wearing a black gown which covered his legs. Matched with his long black hair, he would appear like a specter as he moved in the dark. He was already used to having long hair in his previous life. Some GU worms needed long hair to show their abilities, like the black hair GU, steel hair GU and so on. Having long hair was quite convenient as well. You could just cut it short if there came a time where you had to alter your appearance. But for short hair, to grow it in a short period, one needed to rely on specific GU worms. Not long ago, he had made an agreement with GU Mo Chen. Right now, he had already received the pig iron GU and all 40,000 primeval stones. The only thing remaining was that healing grass GU. I can only forget about the healing GU now. How can everything go as one wishes? Reality is full of helpless choices. Fang Yuan sighed, then stood up and lightly opened the door before using the stealth scales GU and disappearing into the night. He was forced by the circumstances to make this move. Tai father and daughter were drawing in closer, and his plan to be an envoy to Shang village had been stopped too. Shang village was able to preserve most of their strength. Bai clan and GU clan didn't dare to be overly forceful, thus the compensation talk ended in failure. The three sides then decided on holding a three-clan competition. Mo faction might have intentionally recruited Fang Yuan, but this move caused Fang Yuan to be in the middle of the political struggle and draw every elder's hostility. Also adding in Bai Ningbing, who was growing stronger as he approached his death, the whole situation was becoming more unfavorable to Fang Yuan, forcing him into an impasse. Even if Fang Yuan was an old fox, he still needed strength to support his schemes. Facing such a situation, despite him already using up all his efforts and strength, making much faster progress than he did in his previous life, his rank 3 initial stage cultivation was still not enough to overturn the situation. The situation is dire, I can only take a risk and bet on this method. Fang Yuan thought hard, placing his hopes on the Heavenly Essence Treasure Lotus. As long as he plucked the Heavenly Essence Treasure Lotus, the spirit spring in the underground cave would be wasted. The clan was sure to madly investigate, but what else besides the investigation? The spirit spring would already be disabled, and even if they got the heavenly essence treasure lotus and destroyed it or put it back into the spirit spring again, the spirit spring would not recover. What could the clan do to survive then? There was only one thing, that was to seize a new spirit spring. However, there were only 3 spirit springs in Qingmao Mountain and each were occupied by one of the 3 clans. If one was destroyed by Fang Yuan, then Jiuyu clan had only one choice, to make a choice between the 2. This choice was war, a war with either Bai village or Shang village. Only by seizing one of the spirit springs could Jiuyu clan have the foundation to continue its existence. There was no need to talk of Jiu masters being able to support their cultivation without the support of spirit spring. This move was too dangerous, though. But Fang Yuan had no other choice as the spring autumn cicada was recovering so fast that his aperture was already starting to feel a burden. He didn't have much time, so he could only fight back for a sliver of chance at survival and seek life in death. The hall was bright with all the lights. A GU master had already delivered the photo audio GU, but this GU was currently in GU Bo's hand. Divine Investigator Tai, what did you think about my request? GU Bo asked smilingly. Tai Ruo Nan lightly snorted. Tai Shuileng ruminated for a while before agreeing, all right, if Fang Yuan really turns out to be the killer, I will leave enough time for him to participate in the 3 clans competition. Father. Tai Ruo Nan's eyes flashed with a strange light, this was not her father's style. Hee, Divine Investigator's words are worth a lot and he never breaks his promises. This humble one fully trusts you and also thanks you for understanding. Jiu Bo's smile became more gentle, however he coldly hummed inside. Jiu Yaoji had secretly brought the Tai father and daughter into the underground cave and let them look through the clan's official historical records. How could he as a clan leader not know of this? But he had to restrain his anger because of the approaching tournament and also the complicated political struggles in the clan. Tai Shuileng might be a powerful rank 5 expert, but he had no way to appease the dissatisfaction in Jiu Bo's heart. Fortunately, the genuine contents are all recorded in the clan's secret records and only the successive clan leaders can hold them. That official history is for the outsiders to look. Jiu Bo was secretly feeling smug. Jiu clan's historical records were divided into official records and secret records. Official records were hidden in the secret room in the underground cave and its contents were to brainwash the later generations and was a fake, in fact. But the secret records recorded all the genuine details without any fake details. There were even records of some secrets that could never be divulged. For instance, the ritual for summoning the blood guillotine GU which could never be recorded in the official records but was recorded in detail in the secret records. GU clan leader, my father has agreed to your request, now show us the image. Tai Ruo Nan's tone showed her bad mood. Even if Divine Investigator Tai hadn't agreed, I would have fully cooperated with your investigation, GU Bo gently clarified, then he lightly pinched his fingers, smashing the photo audio GU. Although the GU broke into pieces, it instead formed into a ball of 7-colored smoke which contained all sorts of noise. GU Bo lightly blew on it, this smoke floated into a wall, but didn't pass through. Like an ink drop falling into water, a colorful imprint began to appear on the spotless wall. The imprint grew larger until it formed into an image of the former awakening ceremony. Within this image, Fang Zheng quickly found himself and also many other familiar faces. All these faces held looks of excitement as they looked all around the cave, their faces full of the immaturity of young. They were like young chicks who had just learned to flap their wings and fly out of the nest. That is Fang Yuan. Similarly, Tai Ruo Nan soon found Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan was walking within the group, and although he was looking all around like the rest, his gaze was tranquil and detached. In the group of similar ages, he was like a crane within a group of chicken. If one didn't specifically pay attention to him, normal people wouldn't find any differences between him and the rest. However, the group in the hall right now were all concentrating on him, exposing this peculiarity. This Fang Yuan is really strange. Right now, even Jiu Bo couldn't help but reveal a slightly surprised expression. The scene on the wall changed to when the group of youths reached the Sea of Flowers. The awakening ceremony began, and each of the youngsters stepped in the underground river and walked towards the Sea of Flowers on the opposite bank. The light of the Hope GU rose and fell. There were also the elders, voices which could be clearly heard. The scenes appeared with such clarity that it felt like one was really there. First, it was GU Mo Bei who was found to have B-grade aptitude, causing an uproar, then GU Kai Cheng was also tested to have B-grade aptitude. It really is strange, this GU Kai Cheng looks too nervous. His body movements are stiff and his skin color is also not normal, it is just that the light in the underground is dim. But if one carefully looks into it, they will find that something has been applied on his body and that is what is attracting the Hope Gu. Hehe, this is clearly a cheat. Tai Ruonan was confident as she observed this. But in the next moment, she immediately frowned. It was Fang Yuan's turn. He stepped into the river and started moving towards the opposite bank. The light from the Hope Gu wasn't vigorous. The higher the hope, the greater the disappointment, and the sighs from the youths and the elders could be heard by everyone in the group. Everything seemed normal, but Tai Ruonan's frowns got even deeper. Because Fang Yuan's expression was calm all along the way. At that time, his back was facing the elders and the youths, they couldn't see his expression. However, as Tai Ruonan observed as a spectator, she saw that Fang Yuan's expression didn't change at all, indifferent and cold. It was as if, he already knew this would happen. This is impossible. If it was me in his place, a 15-year-old with everyone's expectations on me, but was tested to only have C-grade aptitude, how could I not feel the least bit of frustration, disappointment and discouragement? How can this be? How can this be? Tai Ruonan's frowns were almost forming a knot. Huge doubts and suspicions covered her mind, even stifling her breaths. Her heart was beating loudly at this moment as all her thoughts flashed through her mind. What is going on? How could this be? Wait a moment, aptitude. Could it be? Tai Ruonan suddenly raised her head. Her intuition had activated and an extremely bold and crazy conjecture formed in her mind. Light and shadow reflected upon Fang Zheng's face. The awakening ceremony had been the most important turning point in his life. Before the awakening ceremony, he was living a low and insignificant life, a nobody. After the awakening ceremony, however, his life was completely changed. He was basked in the lights and his confidence also burst out. In his memories, the awakening ceremony was a picture of blurriness, he had passed through it without even realizing it. Right now, as he observed this as a spectator, complicated emotions rose up in his heart which he couldn't explain with words. Fang Zheng looked at himself when it was his turn. He remembered how inferior and weak he had felt at that time. Soon, he saw how he had tumbled down into the river and struggled to get up, and was pulled up by his big brother Fang Yuan, how he had cut out a sorry figure. A smile appeared on his face. This was the former him, the one who was ridiculed by many. Then he saw himself walking absent-mindedly towards the opposite bank, and saw his body being enveloped by the lights of the Hope Gu along with the shocks and admiration of many. That time was a moment of glory, a moment of miracle. An A-grade aptitude, his life would no longer be the same from that moment. Fang Zheng, I have a question. Tai Ruonan suddenly spoke, breaking Fang Zheng's recollection. What is it? Please ask. I will definitely answer everything I know. Fang Zheng turned around with a smile. It's about your big brother. When your big brother pulled you up, I saw his mouth moving, but there was too much noise in the surroundings. What did he say to you? Could you tell me the exact words he told? Tai Ruonan asked with a bright gaze. His words. Fang Zheng tried to recall, he seemed to have said road. Right, it was road. Fang Zheng's eyes brightened, I remember it. He said to me, the road to the future will be interesting. Huh, strange, I didn't think anything of it at that time, but now that I recall it, I think Big Brother's words contained profound meaning as if he already knew I had a grade aptitude. No, he didn't mean the A-grade aptitude, but something else. Tai Ruonan's body trembled, her expression complicated as she let out a breath of turbid air.